back. So, welcome back to OTAKO Tuesday.
OTAKO.
OTAKO Tuesday. OTAKO.
Hey.
OTAKO. We need to make a theme song.
I was working on it. Week's not long enough.
True. It is a very short week. Today we will be talking about, is it maybe the greatest anime of all time, Eric?
Just hit the intro.
Welcome to we will be talking about my teen romantic comedy SNAFU. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
So, good times. Good times all around. Yeah. Gotta tell you this. Eric's been chomping at the bit since yesterday. Yesterday, he finished watching the series, and I just got a text like, I need to talk about it right now.
I didn't just finish it. I started watching the third season at 1 a.m. because I told myself, I'll just watch the first episode.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's like 4:30 in the morning.
It happens.
And it's like, fine, I'll stop halfway through. And I finished it like noon the next day. And I've just been empty ever since.
Well, that's because, for reasons. You're a weird guy. The point is, he's been kind of following me around. And you know that look when somebody wants to talk to you? He's like, and so for days, I've been like, save it. So you're unleashed. You're finally unleashed.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show.
Before we get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. I'm aiming now. I'm trying to do like 7:30ish, so it's a little bit earlier. Eric, where can they find you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/DickieSenpai and the rest of the social media ones that I don't really use. Mainly on twitch.tv where I'm streaming video games.
Yeah, actually we did a stream this Saturday. We did.
We played a lot of fun.
We only did it on Twitch. We played a little Pokemon. We're gonna do it again. We did a randomizer, dude. You should try it.
It's ridiculous.
We did Pokemon Fire Red with a randomizer. It's awesome. Eric will be loading videos throughout the week. You can check them out there. It'll be on my YouTube channel, so you can check it out there. But okay, is that it? Oh, so Saturday we're doing it again, unless we're kind of dying from the vaccine. Because we're getting the vaccine on Friday, so unless we get super sick, we're going to do it again on Saturday.
That's the plan anyway, yeah.
Yeah, noonish. So there you go. If you don't see us Saturday at noon, again, only on Twitch, well, it's because the vaccine really, really got us. So let's get into this whole bit. Wait, what's going on? Is the audio fine? Okay, cool. So let's get into whoa, what the hell happened there? Whoops. My teen romantic comedy SNAFU. Also known as...
I mean, the short one is Oregairu. It has like a long Japanese name that, hell if I know.
Yeah,
but it's known as Oregairu or my teen romantic comedy SNAFU or just SNAFU.
So we're gonna do spoiler free for right now. We will eventually get into a little bit of spoilers, but spoiler free territory.
A few spoilers to say the least.
Yes, more than a few spoilers. So for those of you who don't know what this show is about, let me see if I can describe it in a couple sentences. It's about an antisocial loner. Well, antisocial loner, I guess that's saying the same thing. Yeah. It's about an antisocial dude that gets forced to be a part of a service club where he meets some interesting characters, some lovely ladies, and let's just say he has a very unorthodox method of helping people in which he tends to become the villain himself. Is that fair?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So there you go. That's personally, all right. So just I like getting this out of the way immediately. Like, is it worth your time? So to answer the question, is it worth your time? To me personally, yes. I highly enjoyed the show. The first season is hysterical, and I mean extremely funny. And then the second season takes a really bizarre turn.
Every season has a different feel to it.
Yes. The first season, like I said, first season, pure comedy almost. Second, drama. And I mean like hardcore drama, and they build up I think that the only other show that I've seen that takes this hard of a turn is Clanad, and Clanad wasn't as much of a comedy.
And I think the reason it works is because the first season is so lighthearted and there's not a lot of actual romance going on with, romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So when they start getting into it in season 2, and it's like, oh, it's all these characters that I've grown to like, and I know their relationships, so what's gonna happen?
Yeah, and it's
And then season 3 happens.
and I like season 3. So overall, I highly recommend the show. I thought it was very enjoyable. I'm fine with the ending. Eric's on the other side of the ball of this one. How would you describe it? Would you recommend it for somebody like, hey, you should watch this show? It's great.
Yeah, I just think it has a lot of problems, especially towards the latter half. Honestly, look, I get it that when it comes to like what do you call it's a love triangle kind of story, and there's a bunch of like girls that who's the main character gonna end up with? And
He does end up with anybody.
If he ends up with anybody. And I don't have a problem when he picks the girl that I didn't personally care for. I have a problem when they do it wrong.
Listen, I will agree with you. The third season is a bit rushed. They rushed towards the end, and certain shows. I think
They rushed and they dragged. Like,
it's weird, right?
it's almost like almost nothing happened in the third season, yet they just went straight towards the ending.
Yeah, it was really weird because well, you need to understand. There's a big time gap between season 2 and season 3, like a few years, right?
No,
or
a few
season.
months.
It's a few. Which one was the one that has like a big gap between the two of them?
I mean, between season 1 and season 2, it's just like their summer break.
No, no. I mean, in the real world.
Oh, yeah. So the first 2 seasons came out, I think, back to back. And then the third season didn't come out for like 5 or 7 years.
Yeah. So
in the real world.
In the real world. So it's a big delay, and then it's kind of rushed. It's weird. It's almost Game of Thrones-ish.
Kind of, yeah.
It's weird, right?
And I mean, they had the light novel material.
Mm-hmm.
It was based off a light novel.
Yeah.
So I don't see the reason why.
I don't know. I've seen them do this before with other stories. That they're like, I don't know if we're gonna get another season, so let's just rush towards the end here. Like it's almost like if they halfway through they're like, we gotta finish it because we don't know if we're gonna continue it, so let's just get there. So it does feel rushed. I'm okay with how it ended up. Eric, not so much. So before we get into that particular part, let's tell you about this colorful cast of characters.
Well, first off, if you had to give it a number.
A number?
Yeah, just a number rating.
I think I loved season 1.
Each season I would rank differently.
Of course. The best one to me is season 1.
That is the one I would rewatch.
Of course.
I don't think I would rewatch the whole way through. I would just stop at the end of season 1 if I was on a rewatch.
I can rewatch the whole thing, but to me, my favorite one was season 1. Even though, oh god, it's really hard.
Season 1 is really good. Season 2 is what gave me like made things happen
in my feels,
in my heart, in my cold dead heart.
Yeah, I remember Eric being like, "No, it's just an injection of drama straight into my veins."
Like all of that delicious melodrama, just stick it right into my fucking veins.
Here's the thing, but season 1 makes you fall in love with the characters. Mm-hmm. It is honestly it does seduce you. You get seduced. It gets you like, come hither, and then afterwards, in season 2,
you just want them to be happy.
In season 2, you're just powering through it. Like, come on, can you just get your shit together, man? But we'll get into the whole season 2 drama in a minute, because that would be spoilers, right?
That would be spoilers.
So let's introduce
We're gonna try to keep them completely separate.
So we're gonna tell you a little bit about the characters, what we liked and what we didn't like of each, and then we'll get into the spoiler territory. So, season 1, we begin with our main character here, Hachiman, 8-man, as he's known on the internet. It's
Hachi means 8, the number 8 in Japanese, so 8-man.
Mm-hmm. Antisocial dude, loner.
My spirit animal.
Not really by choice. Overly self-conscious.
Overly cynical.
Yes. And extremely paranoid. Like, he's always reading into the things that other people are saying and reading too much into it.
And he always tries to find, like, a logical angle to illogical things, such as human emotions.
Yeah, and
which is hysterical.
And he tends to push people away. It's which is really weird because he kind of wants to. He doesn't want to be a loner anymore, but he's like, no, I'm a loner, so I need to push people away because they'll hurt me. It's not
that kind of thing.
Yeah, but fun guy to watch. Hysterical. He has amazing. I love Hachiman. Hachiman's the best.
He's my spirit animal.
And Danny in the chat saying like, yeah, it's a. It sounds like a Pokemon. Actually, no, it sounds like a Digimon. Come on.
Hachiman? Come on.
Anyway, yeah. Great protagonist. Great guy to follow along. You enjoy following him throughout the show because at first, hysterical. And then afterwards, you're like, come on, man.
We just want you to be happy.
Just want you to be happy. So it's a protagonist you actually care about. And that's the most important thing in any show. That the person that you're following, the person who you are in their head, you actually care about. And I believe that they nailed it with Hachiman. You actually care about Hachiman.
Yeah, absolutely.
8-man.
And it's funny because obviously we're biased because we're following him along. We are seeing his perspective. So when we see, normal people getting sick of his shit, we're like, but I like Hachiman and his shit. So I guess I'm against normal people.
No, well, yeah, I guess. So it gives you perspective on the outsiders of the world.
Sure. Let's pretend I don't relate to Hachiman.
No, I mean, who doesn't understand Hachiman?
It's the most relatable man I ever seen in my life.
Our beloved 8-man. Anyway, so that's our protagonist. Then the first of the love interests that we meet is Yukinoshita.
Good on you.
Thank you. The only reason I remember this because Yuki means snow, and we used to have a dog that we called Snow because she was white.
Still pretty proud of that name.
Thank you. So actually, her name actually means snow over snow. Fun fact. Anyway, she is the tsundere.
No.
What would you call her?
None of them.
She's a robot.
Yeah, I don't think any of the main girls really fall into those.
No,
those type of typical anime
She's
tropes.
the ice queen robot girl that doesn't have any emotions, hyper logical. People don't like her either, even though they kind of respect her, which is the opposite of Hachiman.
They look from the very get go. They try to establish that she's kind of like the female Hachiman, only she's really pretty.
Yes, and people admire her, and she's talented, and so.
But she's very antisocial too. She doesn't have a lot of friends. She also gets picked on, but because girls are jealous of her, not because she's a weirdo like Hachiman.
Exactly, but she is a massive weirdo. That needs to be clear.
I don't know if massive.
It's like, here's the thing: Hachiman and she are very similar, except people think Hachiman is a loser and a creep, and they think she's cute and cool. That's the main difference.
That's female privilege if I ever seen it, huh?
Next,
it's like they forgive it because she's hot.
I mean, I would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Of course. Anyway, moving on. We got our girl Yui.
Yui Gahara.
I just call her Yui. Anyway,
Yui,
she is the lovable idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hachiman and Yukino are always having these crazy, complicated conversations where they're honestly saying a whole bunch of nothing, but in very pseudo intellectual ways.
Yeah,
so
it reminded me a lot of Dawson's Creek.
I guess, or Gilmore Girls, where they just say a whole bunch of stuff and they're not really saying much of substance, but it's just their dynamic.
It's witty banter.
And Yui is usually there what the fuck is happening?
They're like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm happy to be here. Kind of like a dog.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yuki is a cat. Yui is a dog. Is that fair?
I think they try to relate her more to a bear, but yeah.
Anyway, so the way that this happened is, like I said, our boy Hachiman here gets forced to join something that's called a service club. Mm-hmm. Service club is basically a place, in Japan they have clubs, instead of a basketball club, they have something called a service club, where people go and ask for help on stuff. So whatever you need, it's not like that kind of service, but it's hey, for example,
I mean, we never got to that point.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, but it's one of those things hey, I want to learn how to bake cookies for this boy that I like or whatever, which is exactly how we meet our girl Yui. Yui approaches the service club. Oh, by the way, the only member and president of the service club at the beginning of the show is our girl Yukino. And so Yui approaches them and she's like, hey, I would like your service with something. And that's how she decides, you know what, you dudes are cool. And I thought that you were just kind of antisocial weirdos, but it turns out that you're actually fun. So I want to be a part of this club. Fair?
Yeah. Also, we find out her own personal problems with dealing with people. She's not antisocial in any way. But
she wants to be a part too much.
I think she's
desperate.
She's antisocial in a way, but she's mega extroverted. That's the difference, because she doesn't know exactly how to deal with her personal relationships. She keeps trying to make friends, And
To me, it's like the classic girl who's desperate to belong, or character who's desperate to belong,
Yeah.
but still is kind of an outsider.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so she finds like her place with our boy eight man and Yukino, and so that's the main three. That's the main clique. Those are the members of the service club.
That's the
and
triangle.
That's the triangle right there. It's a great triangle. And now, if you've ever seen anything that has any type of triangle, and then after you might other sides might be added to it, but the beauty of them is, and the greatness of it is, it's always going to be a tragedy somehow. No matter what, it's always going to end in tragedy, and I love it. I love it, especially
And as long as it's handled correctly, I'm okay with it.
especially when you like all the characters. But anyway, let's continue with the rest of the cast, because it's reasonably large cast. Some of them are not really that relevant. We have the teacher, and whose name I could never really pronounce, so I'm gonna Shizuka. So I'm gonna call her just Sensei. Fair?
She's a whole lot of fun.
She's the best character in the show. She's the best. Unfortunately, we don't see enough of her, but she's the best. She's the typical teacher who hits students. Honestly, she's my favorite teacher I've ever seen in an anime.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well,
but I'd
name one that's better. Off the top of your head.
Roshi. I don't know.
Fuck. No, I'd pick her. She is the one that actually sees potential in 8-Man, and she thinks that they can, and she sees potential in Yukino, but he sees that he believes that they can help each other, and she keeps throwing obstacles and challenges their way.
And let's be honest. The main reason she kind of like keeps pushing 8-Man towards Yukino is because Yukino looks exactly like her.
Yes,
She is totally
freakish.
projecting.
It's freakish, and the relationship between her and 8-Man is hysterical, because is she a love interest? Is she?
No, she's not.
Is she a love interest?
She totally never is.
Is she? Are you telling me? Are you telling? You know what? I'm gonna save it for later. I'm gonna save it for later because that could be spoiler territory. Next we have Komichi.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, Komichi.
Little sister.
Yeah, 8-Man's little sister. Classic little sister role. Adorable,
She's
hysterical.
a lot of fun, too.
Yes. I wish I had a little sister that adorable, man.
Yeah.
That'd be
Don't
great.
we all?
God damn it. Tragedy of my life.
Wish I had an older brother as cool as 8-Man. He's so useful. Always cooks. Always brings souvenirs for the family.
Hangs
Awesome.
out with a bunch of hotties. God
Yeah.
damn, I wish I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so little sister, she's kind of like a soundboard for our boy Hachimon, somebody who loves him unconditionally. Next, and they even still have their issues, we have Hayama?
Hayato.
Hayama?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lot of the superhero thing going on where it's like Miles Morales, Peter Parker,
Yukino Ishita.
Yui Gahara, yeah, something, but it's
Yui.
YY.
Yeah.
It's Hikigaya Hachiman, HH.
Yeah. So
Hulk Hogan.
This dude is basically like the jock, like the Chad of the school, like the perfect dude or whatever.
Yeah,
but
everybody loves him.
yeah, but he also has kind of like an interesting side to him. I personally never liked the guy, but Eric says that he wants to talk about him for some reason, and so he's become a Japanese schoolgirl because everybody loves Hayato.
Listen, it's not my fault. He has a big penis, and he's great at everything, and everybody loves him.
And he's a nice guy. He comes from a rich family, and he has a bright future. Anyway, we'll talk more about him probably later.
He starts becoming a little more relevant when
Season 2.
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah.
In the first season, he's kind of like
Vanilla.
He's the antithesis to 8-Man.
Yeah.
He's just everybody loves him. Everybody wants to be with him, either be his friend or go out with him.
Season 2, we learned that there's actually more than meets the eye. So,
And season 3, we find a different thing. Yeah.
Yes. Moving on. Well, we have Yukino's older sister, Haruno.
Good on you. Did
I don't
you
know.
study or something?
I really like the show.
Nice. Good on you. I think it's because, I think what it is?
What?
You watched the Japanese. So you watched the sub, right?
I read the manga.
I mean, that too.
Okay.
So you were reading it constantly, so,
Maybe.
it stayed in your mind.
Maybe. Or maybe I just know people with similar names. Like I know Harumi
From where?
from school.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we got a little older sister, Haruno, and Haruno is a whole lot of fun. And I mean a whole buttload of fun. She is basically her younger sister Yukino's arch nemesis. And also strangely kind of like her number one fan. It's weird.
Okay, so the way I always interpreted her, she's kind of an antagonist.
She's kind of a sociopath. However, the way that I saw it is she believes that Yukino needs somebody to push her, so she becomes the villain. She's very similar to our boy 8-Man, where it's like, all right, I'll become the villain to solve the situation. So she's been the villain of Yukino's life, partly to help her and partly because she finds it funny. So she's kind of a sociopath, but she's
a
also,
total sociopath.
Oh, she's a sociopath, but she's also trying to help. It's weird. Or she's
I'm
a
not
sociopath.
entirely
Or
convinced she wants to.
Or she's a sociopath who's hiding her sociopathness by pretending to help.
I don't
Who
think
knows?
she's pretending to help.
But she's a whole lot of fun. I loved her. When she's introduced to the show, it's great.
What's that blue
Because
knob?
what do you mean?
What's the blue knob?
This?
Yeah.
I don't know. Talk?
Talk.
It's the pan.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I was only coming out on the left side.
Oh, well, there you go. Anyway, so moving on, we have, so she's great. When she gets introduced to the show, the dynamic completely changes because Yukino cannot hide near her sister.
Yeah, but keep in mind, she's a terrible sister.
Why? Yukino has a lot of family issues.
It has to do a lot with the message she's trying to convey Yukino, which, in my personal opinion, is a completely wrong message that the show is apparently trying to deliver. But that's more with my problems with season 3, because let's just say Haruno, the sister, and 8-Man have like a fundamental difference of opinion on what it means to help other people. Like Haruno sees it more as a codependency thing, whereas 8-Man sort of I'll get to that with season 3.
Yeah.
I'll get to that with season 3.
I want to see you walk out of this one without spoiling stuff.
I can't do it.
Anyways,
Let's just say they disagree on what it means to help people.
yeah. Moving on, we have our boy Saika,
The best girl.
the best girl. Definitely should have been. If 8-Man should have ended up with anybody, it was Saika. Like, honestly, it's probably who he wanted the most.
Oh yeah, it's a boy.
Yeah, it's a boy.
It's a dude.
And it's a hysterical thing that goes out throughout the show where our boy 8-Man has to remind himself that it's like, no, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a beautiful boy, it's a boy, it's a boy.
It's like, I can't wait to go bathe with him. It's
Yes,
a boy, it's a boy.
It's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy. It's hysterical. Like, he's basically used as a comedic prop, but
Yeah.
that joke does not get old, and they find newer and more creative ways of using it because Hachiman starts kind of like loosening up a little, and at the same time being like, I'm a sick person.
But he's just so beautiful.
He's so beautiful. He's a beautiful boy.
Yeah, ultimately he's pretty inconsequential.
But a good friend.
He's a side character, always around.
But a good friend.
A good-
Like, honestly, probably like the best friend. But that 8-Man wants to bang. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But funny.
I feel like he could have had more of a role within the show,
Yeah.
other than just side character. I had a lot of problems with the side characters in that regard.
They were underused. In the manga, they use them a little bit more. But anyway, moving on. We have, I don't know this dude's name, Tomuro? Tobei. There you go. He's like the jock's best friend, the sidekick, who, you want to talk about codependency.
Yeah, he's like he's the class clown.
Yeah. I bet he's also the source of a major piece of drama in season 2.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, big time drama.
That might have been my favorite point in the show.
Really?
Honestly.
Seriously?
Because that's when it gets going, you know?
Okay.
When Hachiman has to do the thing.
The
and he does
thing.
the thing. And then it all spirals out.
All right.
Then I get mad.
Save it.
Yeah, okay.
Next, we are introduced to Hina?
Ebina.
Ebina Hina?
It's something with an H.
All right, whatever. Ebina. She's a pervert.
Total crazy bitch.
Yeah, she's the type of girl who's really into like boy romances, and she's
Yeah.
not ashamed of it at all.
She's the Fujoshi.
Again, a major source of drama in season 2. But for season 1, she's basically like a background character. She's a desk, basically.
She is the comedy relief of the... So there's like a male side character group in which Tobei, the previous guy, is the comedy relief. And then there's the side character girl group, of which she is the comedy relief.
Yep. Moving on, we have our girl Kawasaki. Now she's the tsundere.
Yep.
Okay. criminally underused.
Very, very underused.
Criminally underused. She's the girl that everybody's scared of.
Honestly, remove her from the series, nothing changes.
Maybe they wouldn't have. Yeah, I guess she wasn't that consequential.
Not at all.
It
not really.
sucks. It sucks. Criminally underused.
She's really fun. Her arc is a lot of fun.
And
It's just
and she has a lot of potential.
yeah.
Yeah, and because I love it when you bring a tsundere together with another girl who likes the same guy, because that always leaves, like, when you have two strong women in the same room competing for the same guy, it's hysterical. It's hijinks, and they did not take advantage of it. Sad. So I know her because of her name is just pretty easy to remember, Kawasaki, like the motorcycle.
Yeah.
But it's criminally underused. Very sad. Very sad. But we wanted to show
So
her anyway.
sad.
Actually, we didn't. You didn't put Yukino. No.
The blonde chick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we forgot about her.
Yukino. Yukino?
Yukino is the main girl.
No, I'm sorry. Yumiko?
Who are we talking about?
It's another Y girl, the blonde girl. It's another Y.
The blonde.
It's Yui.
It's
You
with an M, I think.
Yumiko?
I mean, let me just look her up.
No, it's with a Y. Oh, it's Mura. That's something
Mura?
Yumi something Mura. Yukino? No. Yumino?
Blonde.
Yumiko?
Chick.
Yumiko Numura. So,
guy.
but look, Yumiko Mura.
Yumiko Miura.
Damn it, I was so close. So freaking close. Anyway,
Also, the author is a total asshole. We have a Yuigahara, a Yukino, a Yumiko.
yeah.
Like, come on.
A Kawasaki. It's brutal. Anyway, moving on.
I mean, that's easy to remember, at least. It's a different letter.
Yes, moving on.
We have Hachiman and Hayato.
We have Ishika.
Iroha Ishika.
She's introduced in season 2 and brings along her a whole buttload of fun. And I mean a whole buttload of fun. And judging Eric's face, I don't think he agrees.
Oh, no. I really, really enjoyed her. Looking at the story as a whole, I don't know what she brought to the table. I don't know what her role was.
She was a complication.
Did she complicate anything, really?
A lot. She complicated everything. We'll get into it.
Ah,
All right,
fucking hell.
point is, she's great. She's actually younger than everybody
This whole
else.
episode so far has been like
Just introducing the characters. We're introducing the characters.
No, it has just been a teaser for click on the second half of this. This is gonna be fun.
Exactly. So it's she is a younger student who becomes the student body president, and let's just say her relationship with she learns to appreciate how useful our boy 8-Man can be. Is that fair?
Yeah, sure. And obviously she gets a little bit of a crush going on, but that happens with pretty much all the girls in the show.
Not all of them.
Almost.
I don't think Mura.
Well, it's because she didn't have an arc with him.
True. Anyway.
Do you not know how anime works? If you get an arc with the main character, you get a crush on him, okay?
God damn it.
That's how it is.
Fine. Moving on. We have our Yukino's mother, whose name I don't even remember. So I'm going to call her Miss Yukino Shida.
Yes. She's
The big bad.
she's a
The big...
she is presented as like the biggest problem in Yukino's life.
So let's say Haruna, the older sister, is like Loki, and she's Thanos? Yeah. Our girl Yukino has a lot of issues with family, and it all comes basically from her mom.
And I really wish the show went into those issues.
Right?
Yeah, that
Right?
would have been a great
Right?
thing for Yukino's
Right?
character.
Right? But they didn't, unfortunately.
No, they didn't.
But what's that?
This is not a spoiler,
Okay.
but I still really don't understand what Yukino and her mother's conflict is.
They're too similar.
I still really don't understand that conflict.
They're too similar.
Uh-huh.
So okay, one wants to dominate the other person's life, and they're both strong. Well, I guess not that way. One is too overbearing and controlling, and Yukino kind of wants to make her own decisions, but she feels like she's been turned into a puppet of her family. In a way.
And they're forcing her to do what?
Listen. Yukino's got like the easiest problems ever. Oh my god, my family leaves me by myself. I guess the issue that she has is that she doesn't feel loved. She always felt like a replacement for the sister. A sister who thinks she's better than her.
But so she has a big problem because
She has an issue with identity.
Her sister is like getting groomed to become like the heir to the family business or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And her problem is that she's not. That's basically her problem, right?
No, her issue is that she doesn't have an identity, or she thinks she doesn't have an identity. And so she's basically who she is, and whatever she's done is what her family's told her to do, and she's just followed along, and they kind of leave her alone because she does whatever they say. And so they start getting to conflict when she starts deciding, you know what, this is not who I want to be. And who she wants to be is in direct conflict with what the mom wants. So they're grooming the older sister to be something, and that's who she wants to be, that's what she's chasing, but that would be direct conflict with what the family wants.
What does the mom want her to be?
That is very weird. I think she just wants her to be a replacement.
A replacement for what? In case the sister dies?
I guess.
That's my problem. I don't understand their conflict. It's like, if I understand if you have a character whose parents are very overbearing and they want to push her down a certain path to be a certain way, and they're fighting back against that. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. The problem is Yukino's mom doesn't do that. In fact, she kind of does the opposite because she kind of lets her live by herself. Like, if she was that overbearing, she would not let her, hey, during your high school years, you're going to live by yourself.
No, but it's like, because she does whatever she's told. And let's see, the chat's saying something here. Yukino's mother has no heart. I wouldn't say that. Devil is a part-timer is getting season 2 after so many years, which means there's hope for No Game, No Life. I don't see how that's relevant, but I'm interested in season 2 of both. We're actually going to see Devil's a part-timer
in a few weeks. Wasn't there a continuation for No Game, No Life?
There's a movie, Zero.
But that's a prequel?
Yeah. Oh. And then Yukino's problem is her sister and her mother. I wish Yukino would move out. Yukino doesn't live with them, so...
Yeah, I don't understand her...
It's fine. Let's move on. The point is, the mom's the big bad here. Next, we have Orishi.
I forgot her name.
This is the former middle school girl who our boy eight man confessed to, asked her out, and who got rejected. Mm-hmm. And so she's basically the symbol of how much he's progressed in a way, of how he's changed.
Kind of.
Or so the measuring stick of how eight man has changed.
Yeah, throughout the show, 8-Man has like these flashbacks of middle school, where
of embarrassing moments.
It's those cringy memories that you might share, where it's like, oh my god, when I wanted to like I don't know, I was talking to this girl and I said something stupid, and then you remember it for days.
Yeah,
and you want to kill yourself. Mm-hmm. And so we see her. Is she also season 2? I think so.
Yeah, she appears in season 2.
Yeah, and she starts getting involved, especially with like school activities and whatnot. But she's there to remind us who Hachiman used to be and how he is now.
Technically, she appears in season 1, but she becomes relevant in season 2. Anyway, moving on to our last final character, Miss Yui's mom. Yugimara? No, Yuigara?
No, he calls her Yuigamama, right?
Yuigamama. I don't know why Eric put her here. He wanted to put her here, but she's a hot mom, so all right.
Best mom in the show.
Best mom in the show?
By far, because Hachiman's mom is never there.
Yeah, Hachiman's mom's never there.
And Yukino's mom's a bitch.
So yeah, by far, best mom in the show.
And she's always wanting to invite 8-Man over to the house because she wants him to get it on with Yui.
Oh yeah, she's definitely her daughter's wingwoman, best wingwoman by far. She tries her best, man. Tries her best. Anyway, so that's the characters. That's the cast. We kind of introduced them. We kind of gave you a little bit overview.
There's also a blonde. She's kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Now we're getting into the story. So we're gonna break down a few seasons, and this is spoiler territory. So. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, starting now. If you don't want to know how the show ends, who ends up with who, if anybody ends up with anybody, who survives, who doesn't, and all that stuff, starting now, watch the show and then keep watching. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's begin season 1. Like I said, you know what, Eric, I'll just let you take it. Where's the area where you want to go to the most?
Season 1, in terms of the plot, I don't know if there's that much to say. There's definitely not a lot of focus on the romance.
They're setting up the characters, they're introducing the world. But the important thing about season 1 sets up our boy 8-Man as the guy who is not afraid to become the villain in order to fix problems. So he actually doesn't really fix problems as much as that he makes them, it makes people pretend like they're not there anymore. So it's a very superficial way of fixing stuff. And he's not afraid of becoming the villain when he's fixing whatever he wants. It's like people don't like me anyway. I'm a loner. I'll make people get mad at me when I solve stuff.
So it's not exactly that he's fixing it in a superficial way. It's that he tends to neglect what people's response is going to be to whatever he does.
Oh, yeah, he goes for the easiest solution. And the easiest solutions are kind of shady.
Not necessarily the easiest solution, because it's not really easy to make yourself like the villain, like to be so self-destructive. It's more that that's just how he knows how to deal with things.
Mm-hmm.
So
he can deal with it.
He's like, what is the most logical and like straightforward way to like? He wants to tax things directly to the jugular. Doesn't matter.
And the easiest way possible.
Yeah, doesn't matter if he gets hurt along the way, because he's like, nobody likes me anyway.
Yeah, and so we're introduced that's the way that he does things. On the other hand, Yukino, she believes in actually getting in there and trying to solve it in the most efficient way possible, but that will help in the long run. Where our boy 8-Man is immediate, she's more on the long term, and then we got Yui, who's the heart of both of them.
In the long term, and potentially not even working then.
Exactly. So that's season 1. Introduces the characters. They're great. You love them. Season 2 is where things get fun. And but gets fun. It's great writing in the sense that our boy 8-Man starts to pay for the consequences of his actions from season 1. There's consequences. There's a follow through. The way that he does things starts to weigh on, let's say, his soul, on his psyche, and all that stuff. He's starting to see that maybe I kind of fucked up here. Maybe I shouldn't have done it this way. And it's funny because I throughout the show, I remember thinking there's a point in season 2. Season 2 is very heavy. And there's a point where I'm like, dude, this dude just needs to cry. Like seriously, he just needs to let it out. Because our boy 8-Man has a tendency to make himself the villain, makes himself hate. And he's like, fine, I don't care. I'll hurt myself because I can take it. I can take it. And it's the teacher who tells him like, dude, you're hurt. Maybe you can take it, but you're hurting the people who care about you because we don't want to see you get hurt. Yeah, so there's externalities that he wasn't considering before.
Or externalities that didn't exist before.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the main thing. And that's like the main role that the professor has, is trying to get Hachiman out of that place and actually starting to meet people, creating relationships. And once you do that, your decisions to, hurt yourself in order to fix things, they tend to hurt others as a consequence because they start caring about you. Like before, nobody actually cared about Hachiman, so it's like whatever. But now you have people like Yui and Yukino who actually care about 8-Man, and they don't want to see him handle things the way he does because they don't want to see him get hurt.
All right, so
because they kind of like him.
So in season 2, our boy 8-Man and Yukino, they're starting to see eye to eye more. They're starting to trust each other. There's starting to be a rapport. Things are starting to work. They're starting to come naturally. And then there's a situation in a class trip. The class trip, basically, the sidekick of the I was gonna call him Captain America, but he's not Captain America. Yuma? No, what's his name? Toby? Is it Toby?
Yeah, this guy.
Okay, yeah, Toby. That guy decides like, hey, I wanna confess to another girl from our group, and so he goes to the service club and is like, hey, could you help me out in hitting this girl?
This one.
Yes.
Hitting on
the pervert.
Hitting on this girl.
Yes. And so a whole lot of drama ensues from that because, let's just say, how can I say without having to explain the whole story?
I'll explain the whole story. It's easy. So this girl actually goes to the service club as well, and she knows that the guy wants to confess to him, but she doesn't want to ruin the dynamic of the friendship that they have as a group.
Because she's going to say no.
She's going to reject him. She doesn't want to go out with him. So she goes to Hachiman specifically to ask him for help to fix the situation.
In a very subtle way. Like, honestly, I didn't catch it.
No, it's something that only she
a paranoid person
and 8-Man understand.
Yeah.
And so in this class trip, they get to the point where, this guy, Tobe, he's about to confess, his love towards Ebina.
Also, you can't forget that Hayama, the jock dude,
Hayato.
this dude asks Hachiman specifically to help. Like, he actually specifically goes out to Hachiman and says, like, dude, don't let this happen, or see if you can stop it, because he doesn't want things to change either. Later on, we find out something else, but the point is that this dude was directly involved. And that's when we start seeing, like, maybe there's a little bit more to this dude than we thought before. But anyway.
Because it's interesting. Hayato and Hachiman's relationship with one another is interesting because they both openly acknowledge that they hate each other.
Yeah. It's weird.
But you can see that they clearly respect one another in a weird way.
Does 8-Man respect him? I think he respects he envies or respects what he has, but he doesn't. Does he respect him? Like Hayama clearly respects, and he even compliments 8-Man a bunch of times. But does he respect Hayama? I wouldn't use the word respect there.
Maybe it's not respect. It's more along the lines of, God, I wish I could be more like.
So it's envy.
Him.
Yeah, it's envy.
But I don't know, because 8-Man is very particular about letting us know he really doesn't hate himself. Like, Hachiman does not hate the way he is. His cynical personality and, you know, being an introvert and whatnot, and having people dislike him because he says weird things. He doesn't hate that aspect of himself. It's not something that he actually wants to change.
Yeah, true. He kind of accepts himself, but
so it's not like, I wish I could be that guy.
But he's envious.
In a way, it's more like he looks to Hayato as someone who can sort of help him understand how to
deal with humans.
Yeah, because we actually learned that Hayato is not the perfect guy. Not exactly. But season 2, Hachiman, up and down moments. Season 3 was amazing. Sure.
Anyway, so back to the situation where these two are about to confess. So our dude Tobe here is about to confess to Evina, whatever. And our boy 8-Man is in the middle of an awkward situation. He's like, well, on one hand, I have one person the dude's asking me to try to help her to help him confess to this girl. The girl is kind of indirectly telling me to don't let him do that, and the other guy is telling me you got to do something to save it. It's a no-win situation because no matter what you do, somebody's going to get screwed. And so
here's the thing. People always try to paint Hachiman's way of doing things as the wrong way, and I can see why, but nobody else in this situation had a better solution than Hachiman. Mm-hmm. Because if they actually went along with what was going to go on, she was going to reject him and the whole relationship was going to fall apart, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, he went about things his way, which is supposed to be the wrong way,
and so
because it hurts people.
So what happened?
But it got the job done.
So what happened is, just as Tobe's about to confess to Evina, our boy 8-Man runs right in front of him, and he confesses to her. He's like, hey, I've always liked you. Would you go out with me? And so Evina is like, no, thank you very much. I wouldn't say yes to anybody right now. I don't want to see anybody right now.
Yeah, she like openly says
nobody
to 8-Man specifically.
Nobody.
Like, no, if anybody asked me,
I would say no.
Yep.
Done.
Reject.
Yeah.
And Tobe, he kind of gets the hint. He's like, oh.
So he's pissed.
Good thing that I didn't confess that.
So it's weird because he's pissed because he stole his shot, but at the same time he's like, well, at least I can still pretend or something. Like I did not get him embarrassed and stuff like that. And so he's not angry, not happy. Our boy Hayama's like, well, thank you for doing things this way. But the girls, on the other hand, these two not happy at all.
They are very upset.
Yeah, and that's when the first time that we actually have open conflict, that actually deep conflict with Yukino and Yukino and our boy 8-Man. And so they say like, I hate the way you do things. And you know what's funny there? The only reason why she said that, I think, is because she didn't have an argument against it.
I mean, probably.
Like you said, it's like, yeah, okay, it worked, but I hate the way you do things. It's like, I'm upset. It worked fine. I'll give you that, but I hate the way you do things.
And this happens later on in season 2.
Yeah.
When they do the whole thing with the cultural festival.
Yeah.
On the roof.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. They keep saying
at the end of season 1.
Really?
Yeah. Season 1. Cultural Festival season 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where they just go like, man, like that worked, good, but I hate. Why must you always do things the way you do? Which I don't get what the writer is trying to tell us. He's doing things and they work.
But he's doing them the wrong way.
What's
and
the
also,
right way?
And
We
also,
never see the right way.
First off, it would have been better to just let him confess and let everything blow out. It would have been
Would
better.
it?
Yeah, because otherwise, have you ever been with somebody in a room with somebody where you know you're pretending to not notice something or you're pretending not to talk? It's weird. It's tense. You're not really relaxed. You're not happy there anymore. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you just put a coat of paint on it.
Yes,
You're not fixing the issue. You know what? You grew up in TJ. You know what happens when you just put concrete over a big giant pothole? You're supposed to fix what's underneath. You're supposed to go in there, fix the pipes that were leaking that caused the pothole to begin with, and then you put cement over it.
First off, in TJ, they just put in dirt.
All right,
on
fine.
the potholes.
Fine.
Okay,
Fine. It's gray dirt.
the most beautiful dirt
Yeah.
you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And second off, I would have been perfectly cool if Ebina and Tobei's relationship had been ruined because of that. But it wasn't. It was just they just kept being friends, and it didn't become awkward. Like Hachiman's solution, which was apparently the wrong solution, worked ultimately.
Did it?
Yeah, because their relationship, these two's relationship, sure, they didn't become boyfriend and girlfriend, but it didn't change. Like throughout the series, they just stayed in the same friend group.
No, we don't
The
know.
friendship dynamic didn't get ruined. We don't know.
We don't
so
know.
we have to assume it stayed the same. We can't assume it got ruined.
I don't know. I do believe they talk about it, but I don't know if that was the manga or if it was on the show. But they do talk about it, and it's like, yeah, things are kind of weird.
I mean,
But then again,
It's not-
you're seeing it. We're seeing it from Hachiman's perspective, where he's seeing it everything like everything that he did was ruined, and so he's the one that believes that he messed up. He's the one that believes it, our boy Hachiman, and so, I mean, he's the one that's actually seeing it.
I don't think the show is ever necessarily clear on why the way Hachiman does things is wrong.
Because he's not fixing problems, and he's only putting himself in a situation where he's the one that gets hurt.
So, for example, season 1 cultural festival, chick runs away. They need to get her back in time so that she does the ceremony. All right, fine. Hachiman finds it first. He does things the way he does, and then problem fixed. She goes to the place.
No, Hachiman himself says, I know exactly what I need to say, but I can't say it, so I'm going to do it my way.
Uh-huh.
So he knew what he had to do.
I'm not saying
do it
there's
the other
only
way.
I'm not saying there's only one way to do things. I'm just saying it was not presented that, oh, the way Hachiman did things only made things worse.
It did make things worse for him. He was hated.
He didn't care.
But he should. The thing is that he should have cared,
Why?
because people he has people that care about him. The teacher explains it.
Uh-huh.
It's like you getting hurt, people hating you hurts the people who care about you.
Well, first off, Yukino very specifically says that the fact that you think that people care or think about you enough to hate you is ego. Is not really like,
No, that's when they were talking. That's when they were talking about him being able to make a speech that makes everybody hate him.
what's that?
When they were discussing like
Student
the student
council?
council stuff, yeah.
What was the result of that one?
He doesn't do the speech.
Yeah, I know that.
Hmm.
But why would he think that they hate him at that point? It's because of what he did earlier.
No, because people are just making fun of him. And
No, but he thinks that the school hates him because of what he did during the cultural festival.
yeah,
They don't.
they don't really care about him.
Exactly. So
It's on his own head.
what was the damage?
He's hurting himself. He's the one that's isolating himself, and he's not happy that way either.
He clearly says he's perfectly happy about it.
He's pretending. I don't believe him.
All right.
Anyway, so after that, there's a whole bunch of drama with the student council, because that's when we're introduced to our girl Ishika, and like I said,
Iroha.
what? It's Ichika.
Yeah, it is.
You son of a bitch.
Iroha Ishika.
Iroha Ishika. And so I'm using her first name.
I don't know.
Anyway, so our girl Ishika has a whole buttload of fun, and basically some scoundrel out there nominated her to be the to be the not class representative, like the school representative, student council president, and she doesn't want to be it. So she wants to lose. However, she does not want to look bad losing, and
she feels that if she loses,
she'll look like a loser.
Yeah, and she doesn't want that.
Exactly. She still wants to look cool, but she doesn't want to do the work. And so she goes to the service club and is like, hey, can you guys help me out? I don't want to do this. And so Hachiman has one solution, which is basically you need to tank a speech and make everybody hate you. And so everybody's going to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't vote for this girl. And Yukino's option is, you know what? We need to find a better candidate and somebody who does the job. Our boy Hachiman disagrees because it's like, if you find somebody else to run, then it's going to be like, what, a puppet government? And what's the point in that? And so basically they decide, you know what? You do things your way, I do things my way.
Ultimately, it actually is a puppet government.
Of course. And it's like, you know what? You do things your way, you do things my way, and we'll see what works out.
That is my fucking problem with Yukino and her way of doing things.
Why?
She's the one who's the most self-destructive of all.
Explain.
She's always like, all right, I'm going to do things my way, and, we're going to try and make it, logical and whatnot. But she's always the one who ends up exhausted and having to do all the work and, having to take the blame for shit. She's the one who's doing herself the most harm. That's exactly how Hachiman does things.
Okay, listen. Yukino and Hachiman are two sides of the same coin. Meaning they see things differently, but they're made of the same stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so basically the difference is one wants to do it the harder way and one wants to do it the easy way. So it's not really...
Who wants who?
Yukino wants to do it the harder way, and cause the way that requires work. In fact, she says it when they're training our boy Saika. He's like, no, you're gonna run till you die. You're gonna do push-ups till you die. You're gonna train till you die. Our boy Hachiman, he's like, let's just take the easy way out. So they're two sides of the same coin. Just they see things differently.
Oh yeah, there's an episode where they play tennis.
Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, so one wants to do the hard work. Her weakness is that she doesn't have the stamina for it. The other guy doesn't want to do the work, and his weakness is that he doesn't care if he's hated or he's not social.
I don't think he's ever really necessarily presented as someone who doesn't want to do the work.
But he wants to take the easy way out.
Does he?
Dude,
keep in mind.
We see his homework every single throughout the show. He's using the lazy way out every time. Every time he uses the lazy way out.
But literally, keep in mind, for example, in the student council thing, where, Yukino is starting to get super overwhelmed because... No, it's in the cultural festival one.
Yeah.
She's getting overwhelmed, and the actual, leader of the...
Oh,
I guess is the student council?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing no work.
And the service club gets asked to help with the
cultural festival.
With the cultural festival.
Oh, there's a lot... There's a lot of event planning in this fucking show.
Oh, so much event planning.
There's 2 proms. What the fuck?
Anyway, the point is...
By the way, Japan doesn't have proms. Fuck.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is our girl Yukino gets asked
Yukino.
I say our girl. Anyway, so she gets asked via the service club if she could help be the chair for the cultural festival.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, help out the chair of the... And so the chair is like, well, I don't have to do anything because I already have my little robot here doing everything. Anyway, what were we arguing about before?
So she's getting overwhelmed with work because she's trying to, take on everything.
Yeah.
And so Hachiman is also getting overwhelmed with work because he's like, well, I want to help out, but how do I fix this? Because there's clearly a problem where most of the work is going to very few people, and some of the people are doing no work. So the way he does things his way in that one is literally by speaking up and saying, "Hey, you're kind of a lazy shit, aren't you?"
Oh, that scene is hysterical.
And everybody presents this as like, "Oh no, he shouldn't have said that. That's the wrong way to do things." You didn't care about her emotions. No. He just said what was true.
No.
He even did the thing with the kanjis.
No.
For human.
Here's the issue. He presented the situation like he did not want to do all the work. So he was like, he wanted to slack off. It's like, oh man, I got to do all this stuff, and some other people aren't doing anything, and blah blah.
Well, he's saying more like, don't worry. I'm sure that if you get overwhelmed, you'll pass your work on to me.
Yeah, and so that's the way he's doing it, and that's why it's. I don't know.
And you know what he is?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, in that situation, Yukino is wrong. Yukino is also a loner. Yukino does not know how to ask for help and all that stuff. It's not in her. So it's for her. It's like if something comes up to me, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Fine, I can do it. I can do it by myself. Our boy 8-Man, he's the one that realizes this and is like, okay, I'm gonna help her out. So he sees her weakness and he uses his method to try to help her, but he's not fixing his own issues. That's the issue. That's the problem.
I agree. My boy Hachiman needs to learn to love himself.
And
more.
that's why Yukino starts to respect him and starts to rely on him because he sees, okay, he kind of gets me. And so even if we don't have to say it, he kind of gets me. He kind of understands me, because again, we're made from the same stuff.
Very similar.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
And so that's the issue there. Anyway, moving on. So what were we? Oh yeah, student council stuff. So basically, our boy, the solution for Yukino is like, you know what? I'm gonna run for student council, and so that way Ishika doesn't have to run for student council, and then problem solved. And Yui is like, no, we don't. If she runs for student council.
By the way, Yui has been around all this.
Yeah,
she just she doesn't get involved that much in the plot lines themselves, and that's a problem.
She's a backup. We'll get into Yui. We'll get into Yui. Because Yui's great, but we'll get into Yui. Anyway, so Yui's like, you know what? No, because if you get into student council, you only have a one-track mind. So this will destroy the service club, and I don't want the service club to end because I love the service club. So I'm going to run for student council president. And then our boy 8-Man, he's like, you know what? If these two start running, then there's going to be an issue. And you know what? I'm not going to run for student council president. I'm going to do something better. I'm going to convince the girl that asked us to not become part of student council president to actually want to be the student council president. And so he uses shady methods to convince her that she's going to win because people love her.
He creates like fake accounts online and stuff.
Fakes
for
accounts for other people and then sucks them up. And it's a great little con, and it convinces her to keep running. And so since she wants to run now, the service club no longer has to save her. And so the service club is like, all right, okay, we won't do it. However, he didn't realize that he made a major mistake here. And the major mistake, well, I wouldn't say a major mistake, but it came with a complication. The complication was...
a snafu, you could say.
You know what snafu means?
It's like a conundrum, right?
Yeah, but it comes actually from the military. It means situation normal, all fucked up.
It's like foobar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Situation normal, ... all fucked up. Yeah. And so... the snafu that comes here is that Yukino actually did want to be student body president. She actually
kind of.
No, she actually did want it, and it's weird. She didn't want to admit that she wanted it for one reason only. What do you think it is?
Because she didn't want to be the same as her sister.
No, because her sister wasn't never the student council president. She wanted to be student council president because her sister was never student council president. No, she didn't want to do it because her sister tried nudging her to do it. So there's a situation where the sister meddles a lot.
Her sister's, and becomes a problem later on in later seasons. They find the weirdest ways to get all of the characters in the same room,
and it's fun.
It's fun, but it makes no sense.
No,
it's like how do all these adults have all this free time?
Like, aren't you in college? Like, aren't you like in med school?
I thought you were a politician.
Yeah, what the hell is happening?
What's going on?
Yeah, but the point is, the sister kind of tries pushing her into that, and she's like, no, I don't want to do it because my sister wants me to do it. But since the service club got the request, she's like, all right, fine, I guess I have to do it. Since Hachiman removed that from the way, she's like, well, I don't have that excuse anymore, so I'm going to drop out. It's a weakness of character, sure. Yukino's not perfect, and that's one of her bigger flaws. But that did cause a whole bunch load of tension because Yukino's like, clearly you don't get me as well as I thought you did.
She's a weird character.
They're all weird characters. Look,
maybe it's because I'm a dude. Maybe it's because I remember being a teenage boy.
Okay.
Hachiman makes perfect fucking sense. Okay?
Listen.
He makes perfect sense.
Listen, of course he does.
The whole time.
He sees a problem, he sees a solution, and he sees a solution his way because he's narrow-minded.
You know when a girl comes to you with a problem?
Yeah.
And she talks about it.
And they don't want a solution.
They don't want you to, and they don't actually want you to solve the problem or help solve the problem.
No, they want you to listen.
Yes. Hachiman is having none of that bullshit.
First off, Yukino never wants to talk to Hachiman about problems.
Uh-huh.
And so that's irrelevant here.
No, but that's the same type of idea with... That's the only reason we're presented why Hachiman is... Okay, aside from, like, you're putting yourself as the scapegoat, as the, you know, people you want everybody to hate. That's the only reason we're ever really presented why Hachiman is wrong in the way he does things.
He's wrong because he's pushing people away.
I don't think he is.
I mean, he clearly was pushing people away.
I think he clearly wasn't, because the more he did things, the more people he got around him.
But the
like,
more...
what the fuck?
No, but he was hurting people, he was hurting himself, and he was isolating himself. He clearly was no longer happy. He knew that he broke something, and he didn't know how to communicate it exactly. This dude was just not... they're not good at communicating, none of them. None of them. And that's the issue. Sometimes, in fact, they even say this. Like, well, since you guys weren't saying anything, I didn't say anything, and I thought that's what you wanted because nobody was saying anything.
I agree that, especially with the main three characters, you actually have to read a lot into...
Dude,
even their looks, not even what they say.
Yeah.
Because...
For two characters that say that they hate superficiality, their relationship was super superficial on season 2, and that's the problem. That's what
Yukino leaves the show for like half the season.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted to convey.
And
let's go back to these two. Anyway, so anyway, let's move on because I'm pretty sure it'll make sense. No, oh yeah, Studio Council President, our girl Ishika wins, and then things continue where. Clearly, she wasn't up for the job, and they start planning an event, a Christmas event with another school, which is where we're introduced again to the former middle school friend.
Former flame.
Yeah, and so our girl...
Actually, no. We're introduced to her when Hayato goes on the date.
They go on a date.
And there's a little misunderstanding.
Oh, of course.
And here's one of the drop plot lines that I hated the most about the show.
What?
Hayato, he had a crush on Yukino.
Did he?
Yes.
Did he?
Yes. They even explicitly say it. Well, I mean, not explicitly, but when the friend, the Tobe, they go on the trip, and he's talking to Hayato at night, and he's like, "Oh man, I really like Ebina. She's so cool. I love her. Hey, what about you, Hayato? Like, who is there somebody you like?" He's like, fuck off." And he's like, come on, tell me. And he's like, all right, yeah. Ooh, what letter does her name start with? Y.
You know, I'm gonna
now. He could have been talking about Yui, or he could have been talking about the older sister.
Yes, or Yumiko.
Who?
Yumiko, the
blonde?
Mura.
No, because that's her last name.
Still, it's also her last name.
I know, but I don't think.
It's Haruno Yukino Shita. I mean,
the point is, there's a lot of characters with Y in the name.
Yeah.
And this is clearly meant to go somewhere.
I thought it's the older sister.
Even if it is, they never go anywhere with it.
They do. They show them hanging out by themselves a lot.
Uh-huh.
In fact, she says Haruno even tells him that she loves him, just the way he is.
No, she doesn't. She says she thinks he's boring.
But no, I mean, there's a situation in a bar when they're together. It's like, I love you, stuff like that.
Yeah, she does it to tease him.
Is he teasing her? Is it real? And
if there's a character that 99% of her dialogue is teasing,
okay,
it's the sister.
And so, who would you fall in love with? The girl who's teasing you, or the girl who's just throwing her ass at you?
Is this a rhetorical question?
No, the point
Baka?
is, to me it makes sense for him to have the crush on the older sister.
Sure, but they never go anywhere with it.
I thought it was subtext.
I thought the reason why they were setting it up was to pay it off later, and that would help Hachiman and Yukino's relationship evolve. Not necessarily into a romantic one, but one where they actually have to be more open and honest with one another. At least on what their personal romantic opinions are on Blondie Boy over here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Also, the little sister is around constantly.
Okay, I agree. It was a wasted opportunity. But anyway, let's move on.
In my opinion, it was just dropped. Because to me, it was clearly setting that up.
I don't know. I feel like it was.
They even have another storyline where somebody starts a rumor that Hayato and Yukino are going out.
And Yukino immediately shuts it down.
Yeah, of course he shuts it down because it's not true. But it's clearly where they're trying to put it up because
have you
he
ever
doesn't actually hate the rumor.
Have you ever actually considered that that's all it was?
What?
That they say, oh, somebody, the setup of, oh, I like somebody named with Y. And they're like, oh, are you dating Yukino? And so he's like, oh, no, he takes it really seriously because he likes the older sister.
No.
And he's like, no, if this gets a word to the older sister that I'm trying to bang and I'm trying to, like, you know, hook up with, and she's like, oh, well, you like my little sister, then she's going to torture me even more with it.
No, I don't think that's where it was going.
I think it was. Anyway, so the student council gets together, and that's, again, where we're introduced to the old friend who, yeah, as we said, we forgot to mention they did go on a date before. But
she's kind of an airhead.
Yeah. Ishika decides she's way over her head, and she starts asking 8-Man for help. Well, she goes to the service club for help, and 8-Man feels guilty. He's like, well, I kind of made her the student body president, so I believe I should help. But does Yukino... I mean, Yukino wanted to be the president, and I kind of forced her out of it, so making her help Ishika seems like torture, so I shouldn't do it. So I should just do it by myself and not the service club. So he isolates himself again to do things by himself. And there's a whole lot of drama ensues, but you get to spend a whole lot of time with Ishika. And Ishika is a whole lot of fun.
She's a little ball of spunk.
Dude, it's really weird because Ishika plays 8-Man like a fiddle. She plays him like a fucking fiddle. She's
very manipulative.
Oh,
manipulative.
But in the greatest way possible. Like I love her character because she's the complication for everything and everyone. I loved it.
Yeah, she's the one who doesn't hold her tongue much.
No,
which is refreshing in the show.
Yes, but she also helps out. She also has like a good heart. But again, she's always she always has an angle. She's always manipulating, and she's the one person who actually plays our boy Hachiman.
I don't know if the one person, but yeah.
All right, who else plays him? Like the on the level that Ishika does.
The sister.
Does the sister play him?
I mean, Yukino's sister.
Does the sister play him? Like, does Haruna actually play him?
I think so, because everything works out for her.
I don't think. I don't think so.
Everybody always ends up doing what she wanted them to do.
I don't think so because like Hachiman is always aware that there's an angle with her because he can see she's a snake, and so he's like, I'm very aware. But
he can also see the fucking Ishika is a snake.
But his guard is not up. He's like, she's kind of a dummy. She thinks she's smart, but she's kind of a dummy, and he ends up doing what she says.
Hachiman always does what everybody says. He's a harem main protagonist. It's like, if a girl's in trouble, he's gonna do something about it. Like, that's just what protagonists do.
Anyway, the point is that's probably like
for an antisocial guy, he sure has a lot of friends and
they're all a bunch of hotties.
And he always gets involved in like student activities and shit.
And the best part of Ishika is that she keeps constantly rejecting Hachiman.
Which is funny because he's never hitting on her.
It's hysterical. Like, oh, I'm sorry, not right now. I'm sorry, maybe later, but not right now.
That's her gimmick. It's pretty funny.
Dude, it's great. It's great. I love Ishika. She was the breath of fresh air in a very, very dark season.
I don't say it's dark. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's a heavy.
All right.
Season.
So ultimately, the situation with the party is not getting worked out, and so our boy 8-Man is like, you know what? I have to go ask for help. But he goes not because he needs help, but because the teacher helps him realize that, dude, you are not in this alone, and you don't consider emotions and stuff like that. So the teacher kind of like knocks him straight and helps him understand a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't clear to him before. And so all this time, our boy Hachiman has been carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Every single thing that he's been repressing, like, that didn't hurt me, it didn't care. He's been repressing it. And like I said, I've never had this situation before. I'm like, dude, that dude just needs to cry. That dude just needs to cry. So he goes to the service club, puts his heart on his sleeve, and tells what does he ask them for? What does he ask them besides for help? What does he want?
That's when he says, like, yo, like, I want the real thing.
I just want something genuine.
He wants to stop this fake bullshit.
Yeah, and so he's like, he tears up. He first time he actually openly says what his heart wants. And of course, our sweet little robot girl does not know how to react, and she just runs the fuck out of the room.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Yukino just gets the fuck out of there.
Look, you can probably see where I'm going with these reactions, but Yukino has this way of acting that just really annoys me
Dude, it's
in a person.
something that she did not expect is happening, and she doesn't know how to react with emotion. Imagine if all of a sudden, I don't know, what is the last thing you would expect the robot to do?
I don't know, make me a sandwich. I don't
know, like show you emotions. Like, imagine if it's like it starts crying and telling you something, you'd be like, this is weird.
I don't know.
You just don't understand her. Have you never met like a robot girl?
Yeah.
And so, have you ever seen them handle like an awkward social situation or like an awkward emotion? Like, I don't know how to deal with this. They tend to walk away from the situation because like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm uncomfortable, and since I'm uncomfortable, I just want to get out of here. And she does the weird arm thing, and like, she runs.
She just has this thing where I just feel like her character's not consistent whatsoever.
What do you mean?
Because she has these moments where she's completely in control and seems like the total alpha, alpha female in the room. And, she's like talking down to like, other girls who are trying to, make fun of her or something. And then she has these other moments where she's like completely just spurgs out and just runs out of the room because she doesn't know how to handle things. It's very inconsistent.
No, it's because it's something that she cares about. It's someone that she cares about. It's something that actually has emotion. She can be the ice queen with some... Fuck that guy right there. I don't know him. But this is somebody that she cares about. And she doesn't get it. And she sees he's hurt. He's hurting. Like, imagine, like, Superman. Like, the dude that you consider to be, like, also made out of ice. Also made out of steel. Unbreakable. And all of a sudden, you see him break in front of you. You're like, Now, Yui's reaction is like, oh my god, I'm gonna go help him. Her reaction is like, what the fuck is happening? And she runs the fuck out of there. It makes perfect sense.
She's a cat person.
Of course, cat people. They're like, don't touch me. She freaks out.
She there's something off about her.
Yes, there's something very off about her. And that's why she runs away.
And then after that...
So they meet up in the roof and they kind of like let on the open. Like, I want something genuine. What does this mean? I don't know, but I want it. What do you want? What is it? What do you want? What do you mean? I don't know. We can talk about it until we figure it out.
They don't talk about it.
Yeah. and so they decide, you know what? We're going to help you out. And they help him out and they fix the situation.
And Yui suggests the coolest thing ever. Let's go to the aquarium.
Let's go to the aquarium.
Aquariums are awesome.
Yes. After they have a cooking class. Because they need it's Valentine's Day, and I don't know if you know this. In Japan, on Valentine's Day, girls give guys they like chocolates.
Chocolat. Yeah,
Chocolat.
It's backwards over there. So
Yeah.
During Valentine's Day,
The girls give candy to the boys they like, and then in White Day,
yeah. So 1 month later, they have this thing called White Day, where the guys then give chocolate in return to the girl who gave them
yes,
candy.
It's actually that sounds fun.
That sounds cool. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
Or even the in reverse, whatever.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off, right?
Well, it's also obviously they see it as a girl gives a boy a chocolate on Valentine's. They see it as like, ooh, he likes her. What? I'm not. But they give it to like multiple people and stuff. It can be that declaration of love thing, or it can also be like, hey, like here, older brother, have a chocolate.
Anyway, so they make a class where they start showing girls how to make chocolate and stuff for the boys that they like.
Actually, that is the first problem Yui comes with in the show, right? That she can't cook.
Yeah, that's how she introduces it.
Mm-hmm.
That she can't. She wants to make cookies for the boy that she likes, but she's a terrible cook, and so they help her out to try to make cookies. And she decides, you know what? I'm gonna figure out on my own because they give her opposite solutions. So she decides, I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna work on it on my own.
She doesn't say it's for the boys she likes.
She does.
She doesn't.
She does.
She says because she wants to learn how to cook.
No, she said it's for the boy that I like. Like, well, why don't you ask your friends? And she's like, I don't really want them to know about this.
Who is she referring? Hayato, I guess.
Hayato, no, Mura, and
she likes the
Ebina.
blonde chick.
Who?
Who does Yui like at the beginning?
Are you a fucking dumbass? She likes 8-Man.
Why does she like him at the beginning?
Because he saved her dog.
Oh, that's fucking stupid.
He's the dude who jumped into traffic to save her dog.
We didn't mention this. Well, this... You know what? I didn't mention it? Because I forgot about it, because it's ultimately not...
It's the most important reason why Yui's there.
I mean, look. Not really.
Yeah.
Because they specifically say after the whole thing, and... So, okay. in the first day of high school, Hachiman was riding his bike towards high school, and he had this idea of it's a fresh start. I'm gonna
make friends. I'm not gonna be a loser anymore.
I'm gonna be a different person. And on the way there, what he knows is that a dog runs into the street because his owner,
some dumbass.
Yeah, let go of him by accident.
Couldn't hold a leash of a small little schnitzer or whatever.
A little weenie dog.
Yeah.
I love that dog. Sable?
Sable.
That's a great name. He runs into the street, so Hachiman's like, oh no, I need to save that dog because he's about to get run over. So he saves the dog, and he gets run over himself, and he breaks his leg, and he has to miss the first few months of high school.
10 days or something.
Yeah. And
so when he gets to high school, finally, everybody's already has their clique and everything, so he's a loner anyway.
Yeah, so he's
and
automatically
he gets run
excluded.
over for a very nice black car.
A very, very nice black car.
Anyway, it turns out that the girl who with the dog was Yui, and it turns out that the owner of the car was Yukino.
Yukino's family, yeah.
Yeah, Yukino's family. But Yukino was in the car.
Yeah, but nothing really went there with that.
It happened. Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Dude, again, it's one of the conversations that happens without actually happening. So, all right, so
it didn't fucking happen.
No, you just didn't follow along. Okay, so our boy eight man is shocked.
This plot line is the reason why. So first, Hachiman finds out about the incident, and he finds out that Yui was the owner of the dog. So he has this confrontation with Yui where he goes like, all right, so I found out that turns out you were the person with the dog. So the reason that you don't have to hang out with me anymore out of obligation because
pity.
Yeah, because you obviously feel bad about being. It was kind of your fault that I ended up being a loner. So don't feel bad about it. I would have been a loner anyways.
Yeah.
So that and Yui kind of
gets upset
about that.
And why?
Well, because clearly at that point she likes him.
Because 8-Man does not take into account her emotions. The problem with 8-Man always calculating, he never takes into account emotions. He never actually takes into account Yui's emotions.
Look, but at that point, because I think this is season 1 actually.
Yeah.
At that point, it actually makes perfect sense for Hachiman to think that, because why exactly would Yui want to start hanging out with him and stuff and just going out of her way? Oh, turns out that she's the reason why my high school life kind of got fucked up in the first place. So she feels bad about it. So she's taking pity on me. This has been his personal experience his entire life up to that point.
I get it. It's a character flaw.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense for him to be he's paranoid.
I don't blame him for it. I've always said, I don't blame him for it.
Yeah, he's a paranoid guy. He's this beautiful girl is hanging out with me the whole time and she seems like she likes me. Oh, turns out she's got some other motive. That must be the reason why. He doesn't really consider that, oh, it's because she might actually like me. Because he explicitly says multiple times that you shouldn't say stuff like that. You're gonna make me think that you like me.
Uh-huh.
Because he's a troubled lad.
He's a troubled lad, yeah. He doesn't know how to accept love. But anyway, the point is, Yui likes him from the beginning. In fact, when the thing happens afterwards, she is like, can you connect the dots? Anyway, the conversation between well, by the way, when our boy 8-Man, he discovers that it was Yukino's car, and he's like, oh, I can't believe that Yukino would lie. And this really affects him because he idolizes Yukino, she's this elemental being who would never lie and never lie to her. And so he's like, if even she's capable of lying and I couldn't see it, then how big of a dumbass am I? What other things am I missing? What's happening to me? And so that leads to a certain bit of conflict. And then they have a conversation about it where indirectly he's like, yeah, you kind of lied to me about that. And she's like, I never lied. When you walked in here the room the first time, I didn't know who you were. I didn't know you. Mm-hmm. And so that's their way of putting it kind of under the rug. It's like, okay, you didn't lie, and you feel bad for not saying something about it before. But they both missed their shot on it. So they both kind of just moved on. But they did have a conversation about it. It was just an indirect conversation.
That was lampshading.
No, that was not lampshading.
That was a lampshade.
That was not a lampshade.
Through and through.
That was not a lampshade.
That was the shade of the lamp just going on, and you're like, I have acknowledged the situation. Therefore, we can move on from it.
That's who they are. They're like, okay, it makes sense, I guess. All right, I move on. That's literally who they are. To me, it made perfect sense.
To me, the problem is the show keeps presenting all of these situations and then not really following through with them and just saying that, shit happens sometimes.
You're upset because it didn't follow through in the way that you wanted it to.
What way?
In a way that's like more out there, more bland, like more communicative. They're not communicative people. You need to understand who they are. And who they are is weirdos who can't express themselves, so they try to kind of like indirectly say stuff and they assume that the other person can understand them or hope that they can.
You know the problem with that is
the audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. It's hard for the audience.
It's like,
but I could follow it easy.
No, the problem is you're having to do the work that the author's not doing for you.
I understood it perfectly.
Because you're projecting whatever you thought that the author meant, and you're trying to like say, oh, it's obviously that's what was happening, when in reality, the author just didn't really get into it much.
I thought they did, and it made, like I said, to me, perfect sense, and it was well done. It made sense for them.
It was fine. I didn't personally care about that specific plot line where it's like they all technically knew each other beforehand and it's like this major event. Like, I didn't really think it needed to be like Yukino's car. It just made sense for like Yui and Hachiman's relationship.
No, dude, you don't get it. You don't get the point. You don't get the point.
You're like a Game of Thrones defender.
No,
that's what you are.
Here's what you don't get.
Clearly, this is what the
No,
creators wanted.
Dude,
you
all right,
to
okay.
think.
So we're just gonna skip a whole bunch of stuff. Yukino and 8-Man are on a collision course. They've always been a collision course. That's the issue. That's why if you follow the show through Yui's perspective, this show's a tragedy because she can see the collision course a mile away and she's doing everything in her power to stop it.
We can see the collision course because it's anime, and we know always how this type of story goes down, and it goes down exactly as you would have expected.
Okay, yeah, and Yui's trying to stop it. That's her thing. Her whole goal throughout the show, she wants to stop the collision course.
Apparently not.
But the thing,
because in season 3, she gives up.
Wait a minute.
She gives up.
Wait.
They little finger her. No, they little finger the fuck out of her.
Again, you don't get it.
What's the name of season 3? Climax. This show doesn't have a climax.
You don't get it.
It has no climax.
So you missed it again.
No, it's just the characters completely just being like, okay, everything's fine, and we're not gonna have a conflict. We're not gonna try to and deal with anything. Like the whole time we're being told they're having problems communicating. Then you guys need to communicate more. Oh, there's a problem. There's a clear problem. Obviously, there's a love triangle going on. You need to communicate this stuff. No communication ever happens. It's just she gives up, and then the ending.
You don't get what happened? So
yeah, you get what happened?
So Yui had a wish, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so she could have, if she wanted to, she could have been like, well, you had to pick me. She could have, right?
I don't.
Wait, first off, have you ever, like, in real life encountered, like, a couple where you can see that they're on a collision course?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And so has that ever happened with somebody you liked?
From what perspective?
From the perspective of would be Yui.
So me liking someone who's gonna go with someone else.
Yeah, and you can see it from a mile away. Even like they pretend to like each other or whatever. Or it's like, oh no, don't worry about it. It's like, no, I can see it. I can see it happening before me.
Not really, but.
All right, but this situation.
But the problem.
This situation that actually happens a lot.
I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate it. How she just accepted everything.
Oh, let me explain why. Okay, so
she just accepted it.
So Yui has the wish, and so she kind of starts. I'm moving this around. So she kind of takes the opportunity, like, you know what? Let's just hang out and do fun stuff. And so she's like, I want to do this, I want to do this. So she kind of makes up her own little date with him. And in the end, she has the power to do it, but she doesn't want to use the wish for that. And the wish, he's like, all right, you do whatever you want. Like, I'm giving you my wish to you, right? It's because she wants him to pick her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she wants. That's her wish. She wants him to himself to be like, I love her. I want to be with her. So she's like, all right, fine. I've been in the middle of this thing the whole time. I've been trying to keep them apart, sometimes physically, in many, many ways. But now at this point of this situation, if I use this wish for it, it's not gonna be worth anything. I don't want Yukino to just give up. I want him to pick me. That's what she wants.
If it was actually her trying to keep them apart, she's the biggest fucking moron that has ever been in a fucking romance anime.
Why is she a moron?
Because her entire thing is I want to keep the club together. I want us to stay together and to keep this going.
That's the tragedy. Like I said, her story is a tragedy because it's the girl that he likes and the friend that she's always wanted. So it's like she want to have both of them. She didn't want to give up any of them, and at the same time she realizes that whatever happens, she's gonna lose somebody. So she's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Do we get to the ending?
Sure.
Hit the ending.
Okay.
Say what you think happened.
Okay, so our boy 8-Man chooses Yukino.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much just how it's presented.
Yeah.
There's no big conflict, no big event, no big conversation.
I mean, there was a
He doesn't even tell Yui that it's like, look, I'm gonna pick Yukino. In fact, Yui pushes him onto Yukino towards the end when they're talking in the park.
Well, that's the moment where she's like, all right, I'm gonna give him the option. If I want him to pick me, like want him to. She wanted to be picked. She wanted it, but you can't. What are you gonna do? You're gonna force somebody to be with you? You're gonna force them to be miserable? Like, she knew what would have happened.
Look, the entire point of this series is basically communication.
Yeah.
There's a very, very big problem with communication between these characters. And by the end, none of that is solved. None of it. Because what happens? Hachiman and Yukino get together, but not really. I mean, they're technically a couple, but it's not like their relationship really changes. Okay, so maybe it's going to change their relationship with Yui, which is the reason why they didn't want to really acknowledge this whole problem in the first place. Because it's like, look, and this is what we saw with the other friends. It's like, oh, well, if we acknowledge this, then, it's going to be a problem and nothing's going to be the same anymore. The whole point of the show is like, well, I mean, things have to change at some point, regardless. So it's like, Hachiman goes, he makes a choice. Kind of. He doesn't even say, like, I like you to Yukino, but it's understood.
No, he tells her, like, my life is yours. I don't know how much clearer you can be than that. Like, this is beyond love. Like my life is yours.
First off, they always try to use that thing where it's like, oh no, the thing you guys have is deeper than love.
Of course, they're dumbass teenagers. They don't know what the fuck's up.
No, even the sister says that.
Well, she's a dumbass too.
Yeah, but it's like what y'all have is deeper than love. Like not only one word can be used to describe it. It's love.
It's
the perfect word to describe it. Actually,
a fundamental understanding of somebody of another person. You've just never had that. You don't get it.
How can I not get it?
Have you ever been connected with somebody on a fundamental level? Like, again, you are made of the same stuff.
Yeah, people you understand fundamentally that even if they say something, you know what they actually mean.
No, I'm not saying.
You know how they actually feel. You know how they're going to respond to things.
No, that's predicting stuff. That's not the same thing.
No, it's not predicting because you know. Because you're similar people in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's who they were.
I understand Hachiman and Yukino can...
By the way, I need to clarify this. I think you should have chosen Ishika, but whatever. Or the teacher.
Are we going into Best Girl?
No, not yet, but anyway.
All right. I think... first off, the show was kind of weird about how it was conveying its relationships because
they rushed
towards the end I was thinking, is this going to end up in a threesome? Did you not get that vibe? Because they kept pushing this whole thing that like, oh, Hachiman is going to have to make a choice, but not really because we want to stick together. And Yukino and Yui's relationship is almost as important as that problem.
Yeah.
And there's no climax to it because at the end...
What do you mean there's no climax?
at the end, they're in the service club, and it's just Hachiman and Yukino, and now they're sitting together because they're a couple, although their relationship is exactly the same. And we have the cast of characters, and they come in and they say like, "Oh, look, we're in the same grade again. That's awesome." But there's no Yui, so it's like, "Oh, okay, so maybe that was the consequence. Like, he picked, there was a choice, and this is the consequence." The thing they always feared is that the club is gonna eventually, split apart because of it. But no, Yui just comes back and everything's all normal, and that's what it is.
Did you miss Yui telling Yuki like, "Hey, no, there's something that we need to talk about." It's like, "Oh yeah, we'll talk about it," many times for a really long time.
Yeah, and did you happen to miss the part where it said the end?
Yeah.
Because it's the end of the show.
Yeah.
They ended the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she says, "I think that I have a problem." She comes to the service club with a problem, and she's all like, "The guy I like has a girlfriend, and
she's my best friend,
and she's my best friend." So she's clearly, communicating that,
awkward,
the thing, and that's that. We
again.
they still don't even acknowledge it.
Listen, dude. There's a reason why I started reading the manga, because there's got to be something more here. But
first off, it's a light novel.
There's a manga too.
Sure, but the manga is not gonna have particular insights.
Fine, I'll find my light novel anyway.
Yeah.
So it does reach that conclusion. It does reach to the climax. The climax is, who is he gonna pick? And he ends up picking the girl who, again, she was on the collision course from the beginning. They literally crashed into each other.
And what was the consequence of it?
Of picking Yui? Or no, picking Yukino?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Everything ended up better.
No.
Or actually, everything ended up the same. Well, I mean, the teacher left, I guess. That's about it.
It's so sad.
Yeah, that's a true sad ending.
No, because it shows you that once he tried to do things differently, apparently there could be a better solution to stuff.
How does that make any sense?
Because everybody's solution up to that point was like, you know what, we'll just not say anything, and it was pushing each other apart. Once once they discussed it, once they put their feelings out, when it's like, okay, this is the person that I pick, and once it's like, all right, okay, I'm getting rejected or whatever, it brought them together because they could accept it. Now the truth is in their face. They can choose to run away and ignore it, or they can choose to be like, you know what, this friendship is more important to me. And so they decide. Yui is the one that decides, you know what, friendship is more important to me. I shot my shot, and I know it's gonna be awkward, but
she didn't shoot her shot.
She shot her shot.
She did not.
She shot her shot, and
she was saying cryptic bullshit, and never. She literally said like, "Go to Yukino," like straight up.
All right.
That's literally what she did. She gave up. I was literally watching, and I'm like, "Fight for the 8 man! What are you doing? Fight for the 8 man! He's right there." Also, 8 man acts totally out of character when he literally sees that Yui's just standing on the street crying. And what does Hachiman do with every other girl who has any other trouble in the show?
Go and help her.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he completely forgets about Yui.
No, Yui tells him go.
No, she says like, "Oh well, okay, it's good," because it's when he says like
the teacher calls him and
yeah,
they're canceling the prom.
Yeah. Also, so many fucking event planning.
Yeah,
so much event planning.
So much event planning.
And Yui's there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I'm gonna go save her," because Yukino says at some point, "Come save me," even though she's always trying to have people not save her because she wants to do things her way.
So that's you talk about a signal there, like like I'm trusting you enough to actually save me. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting me. I'm trusting you with me. Could that not have been clearer? Like actually showing a little bit of vulnerability, actually expressing herself, she openly expressing something.
My problem is she constantly keeps acting against it. She constantly keeps saying in the final arc, "Don't help me out. Hey, all up to this point you've been helping me out, and that's great. Don't help me out this time."
What do you think?
What does she want him to do?
Help him out.
You know what that is?
Codependency?
Annoying.
Yeah, girls are annoying.
Yeah. That's why I don't like Yukino.
Because she's a girl?
No, because she's annoying.
She's not annoying. It makes
First off, she's
perfect
kind of
sense.
boring.
I thought she's fun.
She has great moments.
Mm-hmm.
But she's mostly pretty boring.
Compared to other characters, sure. But
Yeah.
I think she's fun.
Like, she has, I would say more in season 1. She has her moments to shine.
Mm-hmm.
But, God, half of the storylines with her are literally about her not being around.
Yeah,
because
she's not there for a
she's
lot.
busy doing a thing.
Yeah. You know what that's meant to do?
Get us to get bored of her.
No, to miss her.
And did that work?
I did. I was like, man, well, when are they going to get back together? Like, when is he going to fix this? When is this going to happen? It's like, come on, 8-Man, get.
It didn't work for me.
Because you didn't care for that character.
I thought she was fine. It was just, she had too much baggage and too much bullshit about her. She
Oh, I'm sorry. Is 8-Man load free? Is he bullshit free?
What do you mean bullshit free?
You just said she has a lot of bullshit about her. Is he bullshit free? They are made of the same stuff.
Uh-huh.
They make perfect sense together because they're both idiots in the same way. They're
I
both
think-
fucked up in the same way.
I think they're both too similar, and honestly, I don't think that relationship would work.
I don't know. It makes sense. For loners, it makes perfect sense.
I think his relationship with Yui, so I clearly think he should end up with Yui.
Okay, so now we're moving up into best girl, probably. So
I don't actually know.
All right, so let's
I
say
think-
it like this. First off, the best option, let's see if we agree, is Saika. Best option for our boy 8-Man.
You mean the dude?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Second,
That's the healthiest relationship Hachiman has the whole show.
second, the one that he's most compatible with is Yukino. The one who loves him the most is probably Yui. Would you agree with that? And probably the one that would have been best for him.
It's just I don't.
The one that would have been best for him is Ishika.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, explain.
I think Ishika has just way too many problems in terms of her personality and the way she is, and
Name one.
she's a psycho.
You just okay. You just mentioned everything that's great about her.
She's a total psycho.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
What more could you want from a woman?
What more do you expect? I mean, it would have been a fine pick. She kind of comes out of nowhere and she sticks around. Like, I didn't expect her to stick around much after her arc,
Dude.
with the student council thing.
Because she's so great, she stuck around. Look, she even made it to the poster, man. Season 2, and season 3. She's there on the poster. That's how great she was.
Look, I love Ishika.
Yeah.
She's fun as
A
hell.
buttload of the funnest.
Also, she has a crush on the blonde guy, and he rejects her at one point, and that was that. And then she obviously gets a crush on 8-Man. Boy, 8-Man is a hell of a number 2, isn't he?
Right?
It's like everybody has a crush on Hayato. It doesn't work.
All right.
8-Man's pretty cool.
8-Man's fine.
Yeah, he's all right.
Okay.
But I don't see 8-Man as a character with much baggage. Like
the paranoid loner?
he's a dick, but we clearly see that he's mostly fine.
You mean the paranoid who cannot accept something that anybody tells him? He's like always trying to look into something else. Like even he himself's like, even when people tell me something, I'm like, there's got to be another reason why they say something like that.
That just tells me he's prepared to be an adult.
He's a psycho too.
He's not a psycho.
He's
just
psycho.
ahead of the curb.
Okay, so the reason why I think Ishika is the best, like I said, she's the only one that actually plays him like a fiddle throughout.
Their interactions are a lot of fun. Actually, that's an interesting thing. Hachiman's interactions with the two main girls are not particularly engaging,
I think that,
especially in later seasons,
no,
because they're trying to sort of avoid talking about
the elephant in the room.
yeah, and it's, I mean, you feel the awkwardness.
That's why
But
season
it's
1 is
like-
so important. Season 1 set it up so well that you're still like in later seasons you're like, okay, what's happening with them?
I know, but there's 3 seasons.
I know.
2 of them has the characters not being able to even have a normal interaction.
Yeah. It was a flaw.
It's too much.
It's a flaw.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's perfect.
Also, why is there so much fucking event planning?
So
Look,
again,
hang on.
listen. I gotta defend my girl Ishika.
Athletic festival, cultural festival, Christmas event, fucking the beach.
Trip to Kyoto.
Yeah, beach trip. The
Shiva trip.
the
Shiba.
Shiva trip. The prom. The second prom. Jesus fucking Christ!
I'm sure there was a spelling bee there somewhere.
I avoided planning these events in high school for a reason. Because it's boring.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think it was mainly just a lazy excuse for the writer to have the characters be in a place together and they're dealing with something else so they don't have to really talk about, the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
But they're still interacting. I thought it was lazy at one point.
No, they're proving the point that it's all superficial. And you know why it's boring? Because it's superficial.
You're saying like the Last of Us 2 argument.
No.
Where it's like, the developers, they wanted you to hate the game. That was their point. That was the point. They wanted you to absolutely hate it.
No, because
It's like, oh, well, thank you. Thanks for that.
Because Hachiman is the one that's actually saying like this is bullshit. Like I can't stand this anymore. What did I save? I didn't save anything. What did I do this whole time? Did it just waste my time? Is everything that didn't fucked up? It is affecting him in the head. I think you were just too much in your own head to get into his.
You know what they call that?
What?
When they acknowledge a problem and do nothing with it, but they acknowledged it, so therefore you can move on.
Lampshading.
It's called lampshade.
Yeah. And I don't think they lampshaded because he did something about it.
At the end of the show, where it's like,
When he's supposed to do something.
but
You know what they call the climax? When everybody's got to do something.
he never even has that conscious moment where he's like, all right, I gotta like I gotta make this like decision and I gotta make things change because obviously things are not right. I gotta make things change.
What the hell is that?
It's Yui that pushes him towards
What
that.
the hell's the moment where he goes up there and opens up his heart and he's like, I want something genuine? What the hell's that then? What is it? Is that not that moment?
Sure, he has his moments.
No, that's the moment where he makes the decision of what he wants.
And what does he want?
He wants something genuine.
Okay. What does he mean by that?
That's point of the show. Nobody really understands it, so they need to communicate about it.
When do they communicate about it?
Oh, that's subtext.
Yeah, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's a lazy fucking author is what it is.
I don't think so.
Oh, god damn it.
Anyway, so I want to defend Ishika here. So,
Ishika's great.
Ishika, the thing that I love is that girls hate her, and it's fantastic. The thing that they set up with the little grocery bag is fucking hysterical because she does a great she does an amazing girl move. She's walking around with a bag of groceries and when she reaches 8-Man, he's like, and 8-Man's like, she reaches out to try to grab the bag and she's like, what are you doing? It's like, were you not signaling me to get the bag because it's heavy? She's like, no, I wouldn't do that afterwards. And 8-Man's like, oh, I'll take it anyway.
Very manipulative.
Yeah. So he takes it from her. She was clearly trying to manipulate him. It was working. She pulled away and she manipulated him even more. And from then on, he's kind of like a trained puppy in that sense. And in front of Yui and Yukino, twice. She's like, here. And one time she's just looking him in the eye, hands over the bag, doesn't even say anything, like a trained puppy. It's hysterical.
Look.
And then afterwards, after the Disneyland trip, she's like, she's heartbroken and everything. She's like, Senpai, carry my bag. It's too heavy. Like, all right, fine. It's awesome. She dominates that dude. That's actually what that dude needs. Somebody to put him in his place sometimes.
Look, we don't need to talk about your fetishes here.
What fetish is here? Jesus Christ. I just thought it was funny. I was like, that's exactly what that dude needs. Somebody that can outplay him.
Look. There's reason I say this show is great.
Okay.
Even with all my problems with how they present specifically the romantic elements, because at one point Yui's crying and she's like, oh, this is what romance is or something. And it's like, oh, okay,
Yui's a tragedy. Her story's a tragedy.
Sure, but there's a reason why it's so enjoyable, and it's those little it's those little things, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
What's up with
and-
the leading questions?
it's like, wait, you weren't supposed to add. It's like, hey, Hachiman, you're great. You're just like, I mean, you're awesome. You're super helpful, and you're just a really creepy guy. And it's like, wait, why'd you add that last part? The comedy's great. The rap battle in season 3 is phenomenal.
Dude, moving the hands. I wish I could say something, but I don't know. I'm like, the synergy and the metrics of the school.
Baka
We're
da
going
yo,
left and kids
koro
going.
da yo.
That's genius.
Dude,
and who was there? Who was there when that happened?
Yeah, that was when they were doing the
Yeah,
it was for
Ishika.
season
That
3,
all
right?
that happened because of Ishika.
Yeah. Look, I'm not arguing against Ishika.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking moment.
If
if you
you
remember,
would have given me $1 million, I would like a million guesses. I would never have guessed that this show was gonna have a rap battle.
I'm not gonna even explain the context of it.
Rap battle about synergy and management and the hand movements and everything.
Dude, the animation's beautiful.
Dude, it's fantastic. It's one of
If
my
you-
favorite moments in the show.
If you've seen Killer Bee in Naruto, that character who's always rapping,
Yo 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 yo
yo yo yo, baka da yo, koro da yo, that sort of stuff, it's great. But
They took it to the nerdy extreme.
yeah, so the show has a lot of those, you know, just excellent moments of comedic gold.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Particularly season 1.
And one thing, it has a lot of, how do you call it? Subtle female warfare.
Yeah. There's a lot of subtext in this show. A lot of it.
I don't mean subtext. I mean like when girls like a dude mutually, but they, you know, they don't want to be direct about it, so they use underhanded tactics,
Yeah.
and it's gold.
Of course. Dude,
Because
that's
you-
what I said.
because-
the situations where chicks are against each other are the best.
Yes, because most of those times, Hachiman doesn't even know what's going on.
No.
It's just the girls who are like, they're like lions. They're like,
yeah, like lionesses.
So
Who's this bitch?
So,
Actually, one of my favorite moments before you finish that is with Ishika when she says a normal phrase to 8-Man, and and they just type in what he thinks she's saying. Why aren't you helping me right now? So that's
he's like, wait, I think this is not what she's saying.
I don't think that's what she means. What are you doing? Who are these people? Like, why aren't you helping me right now? Anyway, continue what you're saying.
So one of my favorite moments of the show, and it's a moment that made me squee. And I'm like maybe go literally. It's at the end of season 2 when they go to the aquarium, because you remember when we were talking about giving the chocolate thing.
Oh yeah, this is where we completely went off the
Doesn't
rails.
fucking matter. So they have the you know, the girl gives the chocolate to the boy he likes, and you know, obviously the two main girls, they start making some chocolate for some reason, because it's Valentine's Day.
I like chocolate.
Yeah. And they have, you know, Hachiman try each of their chocolates, and he's like, "Ooh, which one do you like?" And it's like, "Oh, it's good chocolate."
I like chocolate.
Yeah, it's good. Good chocolate.
Stupid eggplant, Hachiman.
Like, Tosca probably makes the best chocolate.
Definitely, of course.
And obviously, this is where you can read a little bit into like the subtle warfare, because one time Hachiman is he's walking with the two girls, and
Dude, even in the class, girls are like Ishika is like, you gotta taste my chocolate.
yeah, she's a chocolate slut.
Of course, she is just a bundle of fun. She made her life so exciting.
She added the comedy and the levity back to the show.
Yeah,
What the show needed. I'm not arguing against Ishika's character at all.
that's why to me she's the best girl. She's the one that he should have ended up with.
That's different. I don't think that he should have ended up with.
Okay.
But there's a very good argument for her being best girl. Those are two different things.
Okay. To me, the issue with Yuki, like I said, completely compatible, completely understand collision course. She just, personally, I don't think that she did enough to win over Hachiman. Like,
I don't think she really worked towards the Hachi Bowl.
yeah.
It just fell on her lap like easy
Because
peasy.
again, it was inevitable. Like, the dude liked her immediately. It was irresistible in a way. Fine, I understand it. But to me, I would have preferred the relationship that happened in a more natural way. Like, you may meet a random person, you don't save their dog, they don't run you over with your car, you just met them somewhere, they appreciate the thing that you bring to the table, your brain and stuff like that, and they start liking you naturally, and also they play you like a fucking fiddle.
Look, first off, the one who I think he would have been the most compatible with is Kawasaki.
The tsundere?
I think that's who he would have been the most compatible with.
I love her.
Yeah, but
criminally underused.
she literally worthless character to the plot. But like, what else can we say? The fuck was that?
Dial?
Was it the trash?
I have no idea. But it's like somebody's dragging a dead body.
God damn. Oh,
they're dragging a dead body.
nice.
Anyway, continue. Why is it Kawasaki? Besides the fact that she has the best name.
Look, first, I think Yui and Hachiman would have the best relationship because it is.
She loved him the most.
She loved him the most, and it's one of those things where it's
and
like.
She has a hot mom, and so she's gonna age well.
Well, first off, that's actually an important thing.
Yukino's mom did not age as well as Yui's mom.
I didn't mean that, but sure.
I mean, come on.
Hachiman even sees the mom, and he's like, good genetics.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but no, if Hachiman ends up with Yukino, oh boy, imagine having to deal with that mother-in-law and the sister-in-law. Like, hot diggity dog. That's a very dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
In fact, Yukino doesn't actually have a notion of what is a healthy family life.
And so he would give it to her.
Let's say, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who has a perfectly healthy family life and, you know, everything's pretty nice?
Yui.
Yui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yui's the dog. She's lovable.
Yeah.
They're easier to get along with dogs. It's harder to get along with cats.
Yeah. And the moments in the show where they really just focus on Hachiman and Yui's relationship.
It's very sweet.
It's very sweet. It's very, I guess that's why he calls it, because the actual name of the show is My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong as Expected.
As I expected.
Yeah. Which is the name of the last episode.
Mm-hmm. My Teen Romantic Comedy is wrong as I expected.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, to me, that almost implies that he knows he made the wrong choice.
No, it means that things are not going the way that a teen romantic comedy should do. So you have usually have the meet cute and it goes this way. You have the situation goes this way, and it did not go that way at all. It went to the
literal most
dark drama,
most predictable place it could have gone.
No, but it went from a comedy to a hard drama.
Sure, there's drama in rom-coms.
Yeah, but season 2 is basically all drama.
Sure, but if you see episode 1, you can predict how it's gonna end.
It's a first girl thing.
Yeah, and God, I fucking hate that trope.
It's fine if the first girl is good enough.
I don't think the first girl was good enough. I think she was probably the least developed character.
I thought they made perfect sense.
Yui grew as a character throughout the show.
Mm-hmm.
Hachiman grew as a character as the show. Actually, Hachiman kind of grew sideways in some regards, and he kind of grew downwards in some regards, in my opinion.
But Yukino actually grows. Again, she opened up. She actually opened up. She actually showed emotion. She actually started expressing emotions. She changed dramatically. She stood up to her parents. She stood up for what she wants. She actually started making decisions. She actually started finding her own identity. She changed a lot. I just don't think you actually picked up on it. I think you were blinded by hate.
I don't hate Yukino. I was actually hoping that, okay, if we're gonna go down the Yukino path, she actually gets some development out of her. And she really doesn't.
Listen, her breasts have nothing to do with it, okay? Jesus Christ.
They have everything to do with it.
No, but dude, seriously.
But what I was gonna talk about with the squee moment.
Oh, okay, the squee
is Yukino is going to give her chocolate to Hachiman at one point, and Yui is there.
Cock blocking again. Her objective throughout the whole show is keep them apart.
Well, I mean, they're.
Yui's like, nope, I'm not gonna let this fucking happen. No. I'm cock blocking the shit out of this train.
No,
Hells nah.
No, because
not on my watch. Not in front of me.
No, because at that moment they were literally just walking back from like the club, and it's like they were walking home. It's like Yukino just kind of picked the shitty time to do it because she was about to reach into her bag. You can see that she has the bag, with the chocolate.
Yeah.
And Yui has her female sixth sense, activating. She's like, "Oh no, danger."
No, but again, you missed it.
What?
Okay, so they're in the club, and so Yukino gives the cookies to Yui, and then she's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta give some to our boy 8-Man here, so that to kind of like make it seem."
Look, 8-Man is a victim.
Yeah.
Of the abuse of these ladies.
Yeah. So to kind of make it look like I brought for everybody, so she puts him in a plate and gives it to him, and everybody's like, "Okay, that's done." So they're leaving the club, and Yui tells to Yuki like, "Hey, let's hang out." And so Yuki's like, "Fuck, I'm not alone with him anymore. I'm in a situation where she's like here," and Yui's like, "Ah, that's not gonna happen on my watch." And that's when Haruno shows up and fucks everything up.
I don't remember if it was that exact day. That same day.
That's the sequence of events. So Yui's like trying to figure out a way, like, "Hey, kind of let's just go." So she's actively trying to cockblock her. He's like, "All right, we're gonna hang out. We're gonna do this," because she could smell it from the room before, and so she's like, "There's no fucking way that I'm gonna leave those two alone." Listen, dude. She came out swinging. She came out swinging.
If it came out that he was the one who called that she was the one who called the sister,
Oh,
that would have been so fucking cool,
dude.
That's the
yes.
problem. There's so much that they left on the table that they didn't do. They needed fucking conflict. I want to see these bitches fight it out. That's what I want. It's a Hachi Bowl. It's a Hachi Bowl, and no one played it. It was like the Super Bowl this year. No one played it. No one went to the Super Bowl this year.
What do you mean?
It was just a massacre.
Oh, okay.
It's just like
I got
it's like they didn't even show up to play.
Well, they went up against the goat.
Well, I mean,
anyway, go back to the moment that when you go,
Yukino is no goat.
That makes you go, "Ee!" She's the goat of this story.
No, she's not. Would you say she's in the top 5 characters?
Yeah.
Hachiman, Ishika, teacher, little sister. Yui.
I don't know.
I don't really like her.
I love her.
She annoys me.
Again, I love psychopaths. Like that's the thing.
Look,
to me, if you put a crazy bitch in front of me, I'm gonna be like, "I love you. Please keep talking. I want to see more of you. This is great." And everybody's gonna be like, "Run away from that. It's fire. You're gonna get burned. I don't care. It's warm."
Look, my problem is she's a pretty bad sister.
No, she was a great sister. She did it all for her.
I'm sure she did.
I believe her. Of course. I choose to believe her.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. But, so they go to this aquarium, and, Yukino misses her shot about giving him the chocolate. And so they're all standing around and, talking. And, Yui's like, "Oh, man, I wish, I have this wish and stuff." And,
So Yui asked them both out on a date.
Oh, yeah. She actually calls them separately. She's like, "Hey, let's go to the aquarium on a date."
Yeah.
So this is like, oof, oh my gosh.
Huh.
What's going on?
Yeah, like what's happening? Is the 3-way going? What the hell's going on?
And then they're talking like by themselves, and then they are acknowledging that there's a problem going on. And so Yui looks Yukino in the eyes. She's like, I don't remember what she said, but she's basically just goes like, "Hey, fuck you, by the way."
I love you, but go fuck yourself.
Yeah, fuck you. And she pulls out from her bag her own chocolate. Her own bag of chocolate, and she gives it to your boy 8-Man. And at that moment, it was like 3 a.m, and I'm in my chair, and I just go, "Ah! Ah! This savage! Holy shit! She did that! She did that!"
I can't believe you missed it again.
What?
That was not a bag of chocolates. That was a bag of cookies.
It's the
The
same
cookies that she wanted to learn how to make for the boy that she likes. That was a throwback to the first episode.
I mean, I meant the same thing.
All right, whatever.
I knew they were cookies.
But you remember how she said that was the signal there when she gave him the cookies. Like, how you helped me out with this thing that I want to make cookies for the boy that I liked? She was saying it from the very beginning, from the very first episode. She liked them. That's what that meant. That's why it was so momentous.
I mean, look, I'm willing to accept that she may have liked them from the first episode, but
It's not. Listen. It's not just that she liked him from the first episode. Is that bag of cookies was symbolic for what you thought it meant, and also it's a symbol,
her being a savage.
but also it's a symbol of, hey, you remember how when we met, I wanted to give this to the boy that I liked. Take a hint. So it was an epically momentous moment, and that's when you're just like, dude,
Peak of the show.
You shot your shot, lady.
Peak
you
of the
shot
show.
your fucking shot. Kudos to you, Yui.
I don't smoke. I needed a cigarette
Dude,
after that one.
honestly, if she would have won after that, I would have been like, respect.
Yeah,
Respect.
Nothing in season 3 comes close to that sort of emotional high.
Maybe the confession at the end. Maybe.
Look, what's weird about Hachiman's confession is that he does it in his own way, which the whole fucking point of the show, we've been told that it's the wrong way. We've never been proven it's the wrong way, not really, but we keep being told you're doing things the wrong way. It's not the right way. But he goes about it because he goes about it all the roundabout ways. You know, he doesn't actually.
My life is yours.
What he means is, I want to date you. Be my girlfriend.
No, he went one step ahead.
What he meant is want to be your boyfriend.
Then she understood it?
I don't know.
Then
I guess.
Then what's the problem?
The problem is, the whole time the show has been telling us, look, it's important to learn how to communicate, especially with the people that you care about. Hachiman is doing it wrong. Yukino is doing it wrong. Even Yui is doing it wrong. We get to the climax. It's not very climax, but that's more
because there was another arc afterwards.
Which one?
The second prom.
Oh, that was a whole bunch of nothing.
I mean, the only thing that I actually got from that whole thing was Ishika saying, like, you can pretend to be drunk later and hook up, and then they'll break up because they're like, I can't get back together anymore, and you'd be like, well, we already had sex, blah, blah, blah.
Ishika's the best, okay?
Ishika is the best character on that fucking show. Except second, maybe it's between her and the teacher. If the teacher would have been around more, maybe.
My problem with the teacher is I'm not into smokers.
That is a big issue. But she's just so much fun.
Also, did you catch this?
Hachi being like, please, somebody just marry her already, please. Yeah. I want her.
Also, did you happen to catch this? That I think in season 3 they were being sponsored by Max's Coffee.
Yes, definitely.
Easily. They had Hachiman was drinking those fuckers like left and right the whole last season.
Yeah. And so I agree. Season 3 is not anywhere near as impactful as season 2. And
I don't think it's as well made.
It's not as heavy, and it is not as...
I think some of the characters are just shoehorned in. A lot of the conflict feels shoehorned.
Yes, and it's not as funny as season 1. So, like I said, it's not as great.
So, season 1, not a lot of conflict, a lot of comedy, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, a lot of conflict, a lot of drama, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Season 3, they resolved... It was basic... The whole season was made to give the fans who won.
Yeah.
That was basically
because they left it on a cliffhanger. Season 2 ends at a cliffhanger.
A savage fucking cliffhanger.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Respect, Yui. Respect.
Love you, girl.
And honestly, they kind of castrate that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It starts off on a bad note.
How does season 3 start again?
Season 3 starts with Yui basically telling Yukino, like, hey, you know what? Whoever wins the contests wins the whole thing. Like, between you and me. Yeah, but wins the Hashi Bowl. And Yukino's like, all right, fine, I'm about to take this. And Hachi's like, no, she has to choose. Because she has to choose, again, she has to choose for herself if she wants me. The whole thing is that Hachi never wanted Yui. He's attracted to her, but he never wanted Yui. He wanted Yukino. That's the thing. There's something about conquering the Ice Queen. There's something about making the robot feel. I get it. And that's who he wanted. That's who he felt like most compatible with. If he at any moment actually wanted Yui, he could have had her. He didn't want her.
I mean, he could have had anyone.
That's why her story,
either of the girls at any point.
That's why her story's so tragic.
Because Yukino can pretend that, be like never into Hachiman. She was totally into Hachiman since like mid season 1.
Yeah, but you know what's funny here? The guy who always takes the easy way out, the easy solution, went for the hard option. So between Yui and Yuki, One's easy, one's hard. And he went for the hard one. He actually put in the work.
Look.
He did not do it his way.
Look, that's why I said right from the get-go, I'm okay with who he picked.
Yeah.
Because the heart wants what the heart wants.
And
it's
also,
fine. It's not like True Tears. True Tears is a piece of shit.
It's not like Scum's Wish.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
No, that had a good ending. I like that ending. Like School Days.
Hell fucking yeah. School
Best
days.
ending.
School days.
Still not worth it. But look, it makes perfect sense for him to fall in love with Yuki, no? It makes perfect sense for him to fall in love with Yui. It's really author's discretion. In my personal opinion, Yukino did not put in the work necessary as a character. Just like even being a presence in the show, she was too passive. She was not very interesting. She didn't make sense with a whole bunch of her decisions.
Dude, but when she was there, she overshadowed everybody. She outshined everybody when she was there for Hachiman, except one particular girl. Whose bag was he holding? He wasn't holding Yukino's bag.
Except for one particular girl, that's right.
Ishika.
The little sister.
Oh, that's true. Stupid eggplant. Hachiman.
Rice girl? Is that what she called her? Rice bowl girl?
Yeah, rice bowl girl. But
Hachiman is the best older brother ever. Like everywhere he is, he's like, I should buy something for Komachi.
Dude, no, to
He's
me,
the best.
My favorite moment is when, well, not my favorite moment, but one of my favorite moments is when Hachiman is hanging out with Rumi. Well, there's a little girl who doesn't have any friends, and he's trying to help her, and they're hanging
Who's
out.
basically a young Yukino.
Yeah, and so Ishika shows up. He's like, "Oh, is Senpai maybe into younger girls?" And Hachiman starts thinking about it. Well, he thinks about it. Well, I have a younger sister. Yeah, totally. I have a younger sister. And Ishika's like, "Stop trying to hit on me, no!"
Actually, they pull that trope, like
so many times.
Anime trope with like the siscon and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They always call him, "Oh, you're a siscon. You love little girls and stuff." And he's like, it's actually really funny how he goes about it at the beginning of the show.
Underwear is just clothes.
Yeah, the little sister has like that typical like harem anime moment that's weird when she takes off her clothes and she's gonna go take a bath and she literally like throws them on Hachiman. And Hachiman's just like totally chill, just eating his breakfast. He's like, just grabs them from the floor, and he's like, little
sister weird.
Yeah, little sisters are weird. Like people always say that they, oh man, how is it to like live with a cute girl and stuff? And it's like, if you have a little sister, her panties, they're just a piece of cloth to you, nothing more.
That's actually something that's really funny,
but it's something that they never do with anime.
Yeah,
they're always like, "Oh my god, he's living with I'm living with a cute girl," and oh my god, like,
I think it's
not being naked.
It's people who don't have siblings.
Yeah,
dude.
Every time.
I have a friend of mine, and I've always had this fight with him. I'm like, dude, I don't understand Jamie wanting to fuck Cersei. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. It's disgusting. It's sister. It's the war. That's why I can never be a Jamie guy, because to me that's wrong and perverse. There's something wrong with him. And he's like, dude, are you telling me if Cersei was your sister, you wouldn't want to fuck her? Like, no, because it's not that it's Cersei. It's that it's your sister.
Yeah.
So,
hell.
But he doesn't have sisters, so he doesn't get it.
Yeah, I guess. And George R. R. Martin, single child. Yeah. Only child.
All the incest now makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So much sense.
I mean, I guess there's a bunch in history, but
anyway, so you need to pick one. Best girl. You said that Kawasaki would have been the one that he should have picked, but
Kawasaki would have been like the best partner, I think,
because she's an older sister.
Because I think she's just got her shit together the best out of everybody.
Probably
even more than the teacher. The teacher does not have her shit together at all.
No, and that's why she's great. She's a, you know how the man child, she's a woman child. It's hysterical. She's
awesome.
She beats up her students.
It's abusive, and I like it.
She bribes them with ramen. She actually genuinely cares.
Yeah.
She actually considers hooking up with him. It's great.
Oh, she would have totally hooked up with him.
Totally would have hooked up, especially in the wedding. In the wedding, I was like, dude, make a move,
Dude,
make a move, sensei.
Dude, during the prom,
Oh, not wedding, the prom. Yeah, the second prom.
The prom planning, like literally, she's literally saying like, please take me, please take me, please take me, like, ask me to marry you, ask me to marry you.
Yes, it's great. Dude, I just love her so much.
She's a boatload of fun. That's
Criminally underused.
That's weird. I think it's
Because even Hachiman is like, if I would have been 10 years older, or we would have met 10 years ago, I would have married this woman. Somebody please marry her, please get her out. At first it's like, get her. This bitch is crazy. Somebody marry her. Then he's like, I want to marry her. Somebody please beat me to it. Because she's the best.
She's a boatload of fun. I think that's the main problem with the show.
In fact, the best line in the show, I think he gives her, like, those guys just do not know how to appreciate good things. Like, even my panties dropped.
Smooth
Jesus Christ.
Hachiman.
Yeah, that stupid 8 motherfucker.
Look,
Stupid eggplant.
Look,
Hachiman.
I think he picked completely wrong. I think he would have been way happier with Yui. I think he would have had a much better relationship at that point and in the future, and in regards to like just the externalities of things, where it's like, well, she doesn't have like that much she doesn't really have any baggage, really. Like, she gets along with her family. It seems like she has a great life in that regard. She doesn't have a lot of personal problems. I think he would have been happier with Yui.
Okay. So who's the best girl?
But I really like the teacher.
Why the... You motherfucker! You motherfucker!
Look!
You motherfucker!
Look!
You motherfucker! You fucking son of a bitch!
Look!
I've been defending the teacher this entire fucking time. You were pretending like, she's just a fucking background character, doesn't matter. And all this fucking time, she's been the best girl to you?
Look!
You fucking son of a bitch! It's just because you think she's a grown-up Miu.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, plays the bass?
Hey, Mio would never smoke.
Oh, that is true.
That's actually my biggest con with her. She smokes a lot.
That's actually, you know what?
Also,
yeah.
she apparently parks in random, like, did you notice that? She parked on a bridge. Just turned on her flashers and started drinking.
I got a kick-ass car. I don't give a fuck.
Also, she drove on the left side of the, like, her car was like our style of cars.
Maybe it was a one-way bridge.
But I mean, no. In Japan, they drive on the other side of the road.
I know. Maybe it was a one-way bridge.
I know, but she was driving a backwards car for her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's an American car. She's cool like that.
Look, she's great.
She's the best.
Yeah. Either her.
Listen. We can agree. So it's either her or who?
Either her or
Ishika.
Fuck it, the perverted yaoi girl.
You just don't want to say Ishika. Because you know.
I'm leaning more towards Kawasaki, but
Kawasaki's great.
But she's so fucking irrelevant.
Both of them, both the pick girls that you picked, could have
No,
been.
what the fuck? The sensei is the one who pushes everything into action.
I mean, but not underused.
Sure. I mean, she was always meant to play that role.
Of course, she's like the
hell. She's technically the one who pushes Hachiman into action at the end.
all the time. She's the call to action every single time, and also the conscious, and also like the person who puts them in check and all this stuff like that. She's great. She's fantastic. To me, the only reason why I went Ishika is because there's more Ishika, and so
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
yeah.
Also, you're a weird guy who likes younger girls.
Also, it's
Oh, you do like small girls. I mean, like in size.
like petite.
Yeah. Like if they were like this big.
Yeah, you actually told me this once. Like they're easier to throw away.
Yeah, you can just like if they just get annoying.
Yeah,
just
over
there.
Get out of
and they'll take a while running to you because they got short legs.
And they get angry and like, yeah, get out of here.
here.
Get out of here. No, but the teacher, what was I thinking? The thing about her is that when she texted 8-man and like emailed and phone call and
they call the sister.
Yeah, that's when I'm like, that's not my type of psycho. that's I like the Machiavellian type. I like the subtle one. That's kind of a bit too much. Like, what are you doing? I was sleeping. Leave me the fuck alone.
Look, if you're perfectly, like, if you have a relationship or you're with a girl and you're perfectly sure that she's never going to slit your throat, is that really a relationship?
No. I feel the same way about pets. every single
Can't
pet.
say you can't be fully safe.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
You should not have a pet that couldn't to kill you. You need to tame an animal that could at one point kill you if it wanted to.
It's like, what if I end up cheating on you and
You'll just take it like a doormat.
and I what if I start beating you, or what if I like start taking your money and stuff like?
Yui would take it.
Are you
Yui
just
would
gonna
take it.
I'm not convinced of that. I don't think so.
Yui's not strong enough. Of character.
I don't think she would stand up for it.
Only because Yukino forces her to dump you.
So she wouldn't.
What do you mean?
Well, she wouldn't stand for it.
Maybe. But she gets pushed into it. I bet you could have kind of convinced her. Like, yeah, maybe.
Sure, I'm not saying Yui is not like very malleable as a character in that regard.
Dude, like, I would have loved this show from Yui's perspective because I just think it's like a flat out tragedy and it's brilliant.
God, it's when we start getting her inner monologues in season 3, it's fucking brutal, man.
It's brutal.
Because the whole time I'm like, just fight for the 8-man. Fight for the 8-man. What are you doing? What are you doing?
She's shot her shot.
No, she's doing that Japanese thing where they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to talk about my feelings and I got to, keep this, under wraps and stuff because it's going to get awkward. Fuck that. Fight for the 8-man.
You see, honestly,
give him the chocolate.
You know what?
Pet that dog.
I think that's the issue. You are not looking at this with the Japanese context. That's why it upsets you so much because you're like, no, this should be done the American. To me, it makes perfect sense because I'm looking at it from the Japanese context way.
I understand the Japanese context perfectly.
Now, I would never, dude.
Look, as a person, Yukino is basically like the Japanese fetish girl, where it's like she's nice, prim and proper. She's not. Japanese people don't tend to like certain archetypes of people. They tend to have like an ideal Japanese woman, like standard.
Okay.
Yukino fits that to a fucking T. So it's not surprising to me at all that the writer would want to end up going there instead of trying something a little bit out there. Fuck it, if he tried going with like Ishika, I would have been like,
because Ishika is the best girl in the show. I agree.
That would have been something.
It would have been perfect because she makes the most sense.
My problem is not the choice. My problem is the execution.
Yeah, that
and
happens.
The dropped potential.
It's honest.
I thought at one point. I thought at one point Hayato was gonna be involved somehow. He just fizzles out of the show.
I want to check it out because I think, well, season 3 clearly was not made with as much love as season 1 and season 2.
By no one, not even the author.
Exactly. So I want to see, like, if they changed the writing team or something for the show. And I want to read it. I want to finish reading it.
I think it's the same studio. I don't remember. I don't know who animated.
But they could have changed it. Like it's a big gap for them not to finish it immediately. Apparently, it was very successful.
Did you see how long it took them to release fucking Attack on Titan season 2?
Yeah, Japanese are weird.
Attack on Titan came out in like 2012,
but
2014.
But I think it's harder to animate Attack on Titan than it was to that rap battle alone. If that thing took 5 years, all right, okay, fine.
Even to write.
You know what? I don't care because I didn't have to wait those 5 years.
I was like, that was one thing that we noticed that. God, good thing that we waited until like, imagine if we had to only review the first 2 seasons.
Oh no!
Oh my
Shut
God!
The fuck!
This would have been a bloodbath because we would have been like, no, it's gonna be
Ishika. Ishika, you dumb motherfucker!
Sable is a great dog.
She should not have brought out those fucking cookies. Stupid
bitch. Yui needs to buy better dog leashes. Oh my God! When Hachiman gives her the collar and she puts it on and she's
a dog. She's a dog. I'm telling you,
she's adorable.
The author could not have been clearer. Like, this is the dog. That one's the cat.
And dogs are better than cats.
I agree.
Yeah.
In that sense, I agree.
So what's the debate thing?
Consensus overall. Ishika's the best girl, except maybe to the teacher. Second to the teacher, maybe.
I will. Okay. Can we make peace with Kawasaki? Then middle ground.
Yes, agreed. There you go.
More peaceful than I would have expected with all these girls. These girls.
So I need to know how you would rank them. So, who are your top 3 from the show?
Look, and that's actually one thing I forgot to mention. I think one of my biggest problems is the two main girls end up being the two least interesting girls, or the least entertaining. Because the other girls are just a boatload of fun.
Yeah.
Ishika's a boatload of fun.
Mhm.
The yaoi girl is a boatload of fun. The teacher's a boatload of fun. The sister's a boatload of fun. The two main girls end up being, well, they're the main romantic interests.
Yeah.
So if I had to rank them, objectively or subjectively?
What?
Objectively or subjectively?
Subjectively.
Okay, subjectively, I'll probably go with the teacher, and then Kawasaki,
Okay.
then Ishika.
Okay. So we agree on the top 3. Except the ranking is different.
Yes. So if we're going democratically, it has to be Kawasaki
Why?
because we both agreed on her placement.
She's 3?
Yeah, she's like the common ground.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So we disagree on the teacher and Ishika.
So okay, Dario's pick is Ishika. My pick is
sensei.
is Shizuka. They have really similar names.
Yeah.
But Otako Tuesday's pick is
The girl who was the least amount of time on the show,
and the most relevant.
Yui's mom.
She was great.
She was fantastic. No.
Imagine having her as a mother-in-law.
I feel like it's a cop-out to pick Kawasaki. I feel like it's a cop-out.
I mean, why wouldn't you not want to?
All right, listen, we're never going to agree between the main girls. We're just never going to agree.
You think Yukino's better?
I think Yukino's better.
I think Yui's better.
See, well, so we're not going to agree there. So agreeing on the other ones, Kawasaki's not there long enough to be considered,
Yeah, so
fine, Kawasaki. Deal.
let's go
Whatever.
with Kawasaki.
Yay!
Otako Tuesday pick Kawasaki. Blue-haired. Hey, here we go.
There you go.
Yay! She wins the Otako Bowl.
First winner of the Otako Bowl. Yay!
Well,
Woo!
technically the previous two girls in the shows. What has it been?
But we didn't really actually have a debate about the other ones.
It was Shinobu from Demon Slayer.
I would have picked Aoi.
Oh yeah.
The Tsundere wins again.
And the tiny girl. I wonder if you have a type.
What? She's
Aoi?
she's
No,
really
but
tall.
you picked Ishika.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah. Petite tsundere.
But Ishika's not a tsundere.
Yeah, she's kind of a psycho.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. Listen.
And in the second show was Death Note, so it's like it's Miso just
Listen.
by default.
Listen. To me, it's not about the packaging. It's about what's inside.
It's
and
not
what
about...
What I like is not that it's a petite woman. It's that it's the psychopath inside that I like.
It's not about the money.
It's about
being a psycho.
Exactly. Yes. So I like the little psychopath, and it's a psychopath that's in a tiny package. It's like adorable.
She's a boatload of fun.
Of course.
Look, my third one.
Yeah. There.
Yeah. So
There you go.
Kawasaki, winner for tonight.
There you go.
As a common middle ground we could find there.
Yes. A gentleman's agreement.
Wait. So in Demon Slayer, if I picked Shinobu, the butterfly chick, you picked
Aoi.
So the one we would have to agree with there, then it's the pink-haired chick, right?
Yes.
That's the middle ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Middle ground.
All right.
Of course. Compromise.
I like this.
Yeah.
Because fighting about best girl can go on forever.
Oh, dude. It depends. Like, if we ever do Evangelion, Jesus Christ.
Oh my fucking god. Let's just settle on Misato now.
Yeah, because that one would come to blows. Like, no, like, if we actually fought to the death of that one, like,
I'll dress up as mine. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, I'll take any limits. I don't give a fuck.
Like, people have been fighting about this shit for over 20 years.
And it's gonna continue. But anyway, we're over 2 hours.
It was it was easy.
Do you feel better? Did you get it out of your system?
Look, it's a great show. I don't think I would rewatch season 3. I don't think I would rewatch season 3 because as objectively as an anime, in terms of pacing, in terms of like entertainment, in terms of character development, in terms of the actual ending, I just don't think it was up to snuff. It was to me like a 5 out of 10. Season 3, maybe a 5.5 just because of the rap battle. that was a top 10 moment in the show. And the other 2 seasons, I would give them like an 8 out of 10, maybe.
Sure.
Both of them for what they were trying to do. Like, I loved, the first season is a comedy and it's lighthearted and yada yada. For what it was trying to do, 8 out of 10. I laughed, had a good time, enjoyed the characters. Season 2, they wanted to get real spicy with it, and by God, I was in for that ride.
Yeah.
So for what they were trying to do, I think
It was very
about
heavy.
an 8 out of 10.
It was very heavy. I actually enjoyed the conclusion of it. To me, it made sense in the way that they did it. It could have been done better. So execution, not great.
Can you agree Yukino did not put in enough work for it?
I said it. I'm the one who said that.
All right, fine.
My big issue with her is that she did not put in as much work.
All right.
Yeah,
You agree that Yui tried the hardest.
of course. But again, she was trying to stop two comets from colliding. It was an impossible task. That's why her story is so tragic and so beautiful.
That argument always seems such bullshit to me, though.
Why?
It's like, oh, there was never a chance in the first place. It's like, then what the fuck is the point of the show? Obviously, there has to be a chance,
She had a chance.
but they never really had it. God, I just needed that conversation. I needed that one honest conversation in the show.
Well, it's not about
we
you.
never got.
It's not about you.
Okay, defend Game of Thrones season 8. You think it's the best thing you ever saw? Fine. You loved how little. Love how little.
The point is, to me, I did not like how they got there. I'm okay with the destination. The destination was fine. I felt
It was predictable.
it was cathartic at its point. Because it's like you wanted to get there.
Not as consequential as I would have liked.
It was just how they got there. It's not great.
I think at the very least, Yui should have gone to the, because you know how they were going into like arts or sciences.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yui should have gone to a different one, or something. Give us a little bit of a consequence where it's like, all right, so she's not in the same classroom as them anymore, but she keeps going to the club.
Yeah.
And actually, that would have been an interesting twist where it would have been like, oh, wow, like Yui actually ended up picking the sciences, the character you would have at least expected it from.
Yeah.
Only to get away from, their relationship. It's like, oh, things actually changed. Only to reveal at the end, when everybody's at the service club, that she actually wants to keep trying to go there and have a relationship with these people. It's obviously going to be awkward. I think that would have been a neat, a way to show that there was a consequence to the decisions of the characters.
You know what would have been better? Like that. I like that. But in the end, it turns out that the girl with the Y that Hayato likes, Yui. Boom. And the reason he never makes a move is because he knows he likes our boy eight man.
I actually considered that at one point, but
Uh-huh.
and I was watching the show with this thing in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
If
Who's
anybody,
the girl with the Y? Who's the girl with the Y?
if anybody has seen JoJo Part 4,
No.
Look.
I want to check out.
if anybody's seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, there's a flashback that happens that makes you think that later on in the show, it's gonna be a consequential thing, because it's just set up that way, and turns out it's not. You probably know which one I mean, but it's similar with Hayato. So the whole time I'm watching the show, I'm thinking like, oh, he's gonna end up liking one of these girls. I thought it was gonna be Yukino because it was obvious. Like, they had the whole previous relationship before.
Previous relationship before. You stupid eggplant.
Yeah, like even
That's my new favorite insult, by the way. I'm gonna keep that one.
dude, even Yukino said at one point that she liked him
When did Yukino say that?
when they were like in elementary school or whatnot. And then Yukino like shuts it down. She's like, yeah, it was like a whatever thing in elementary school.
Huh.
Everybody likes Hayato at some point. I like Hayato right now. Great guy. Big, humongous junk. Everybody loves him. But I thought I was watching the show with the idea in mind that this was going to be a thing. And it never was. So I was thinking every time he was with Yui, I was like, maybe it is going to be Yui and it's going to be a big old switcheroo. Turns out it wasn't.
No.
A lot of missed opportunities.
A lot of missed opportunities. Season 3. Overall, I recommend it. Watch it. It's a fun watch. And if you're an Eric guy, you will be like massively upset at the end. If you're a Dario guy, you'll be like, that was nice. It's okay. That was okay. Whatever.
I don't think
It's good. It was good. It was good. I recommend it. I'm gonna watch it again.
Look, it's not the worst ending I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It's not Game of Thrones.
It's predictable.
It's fine. You get the catharsis. It's okay. It's good.
It's fine.
I recommend it.
It could have been better.
Yes.
Honestly, it would have been interesting if they went with a 3-way.
Honestly, that's the way that I would describe it. It could have been better, but it was okay.
It was fine. It was what you expected.
Exactly. So, as always, any comments, questions, or suggestions?
What are we doing next week?
I sent you a text. Just check it out real quick.
But should we tell the people?
You already know the next 4 shows that we're gonna do. Do you wanna?
Do they?
I
I think we should only tell them 1 week ahead so that we can change it if we need to change it.
You know what? I'll do one better. If you guys want to know, join us on our stream Saturday. Ooh, there you go. We're gonna keep playing Pokemon Fire Red on Saturday on Twitch only at Super Dario World. We'll tell you what's the next anime we're gonna be reviewing for next Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. You said it wrong.
Taco Tuesday. I'm sorry. God damn it! It's been 2 hours, man. It's been 2.5 hours and I haven't had any beers. What am I doing?
Do you have the layout?
Yeah, there you go.
No, the other one where it's like cleaner.
Oh no, I don't have it.
Fair enough.
I haven't loaded it up.
Where
can they find you? Where can they find you?
Oh, yeah. Look me up on Discord. No, not Discord. Don't look me up on Discord, you weirdos. You look for me on Discord, I block you. No, on twitch.tv/DickySenpai. Tonight I'm going to be streaming some Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm already an hour late for my stream.
I
expected this one to go long.
Yeah.
Next week, we will find out.
No, on Saturday, you will find out. Again, Saturday at noon. If we're not dying from the vaccine, we'll let you know. As always, any comments, questions, suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World, streaming on YouTube and on Twitch. Eric should be editing these videos and loading them up any moment now, so you'll probably get to see them soon. On YouTube,
the program doesn't work.
Super Dario World. That does work. You're a stupid idiot. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.
Bye.